This is where MAGA comes to talk. I'm at the radio station today with a splitting freaking headache. I mean, this is like borderline migraine headache. But the show must go on. And we got a lot to cover today. Oh, man. Now, guys, if you're watching on the long feed, remember to go to the green's not behind me today, but if you want to see and hear all the audio and video, you want to go to the mainstream, which is linked in the description. All right, here we go.
No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor can order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your healthcare and visit Any Lab Test Now of Boca at Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. There's lots of Any Lab Test Nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to Any Lab Test Now of Boca at Any Lab Test Now of Coral Springs. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
Hello, this is Michael from Tire.
All right, we will be live shortly. So if you want to call in, the number is toll free. No matter where you're watching, it's pinned in the live stream. What I have no Tylenol here. There's nothing. I'm hoping the caffeine will help me.
My number is 954-977.
It might be a headache from not having my coffee early enough.
Over the phone.
You know.
On new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
Oh, here we are.
It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
All righty, welcome one and all. It's Thursday morning already. My name is Brian Craig. You are listening to Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. Okay, there's so much happening here and so much going on, and I'm going to cover a lot today and take your calls. But I want to talk about what's been going on this week, and what we're going through right now is when you talk about politics. This is one of the most historical changes in politics in our lifetimes. I'm not going to say in history, but in our lifetime. And it involving this government shutdown. And let me tell you, these government shutdowns, I know they say there hasn't been one in 7 years, but they're always threatening them. And then they usually come up with a deal with a continuing resolution, and they can't go. And government shutdowns are something that I normally do not talk about on the program because it's the same old crap. Oh, well, Meals on Wheels isn't going to get funded. This isn't going to get funded. That's not going to get funded. Blah, 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 blah. It's very academic, very talking pointy in all of these things. And I really don't talk about these government shutdowns when they're going on that much. Everyone else does, and it usually, today is different, but prior to this one, they're usually terminally boring to talk about with just talking points on both sides. This time is different because something has happened that has never happened before during a government shutdown. The Democrat Party is about to fade away into non-existence, and I'm going to tell you what that means and what's going to happen and what's going on. But and that's what's different. And the final straw is this government shutdown disaster for the Democrats. It's great for us, but devastating for the Democrats. And I'll explain all of that as I go on. And you're welcome to call in at 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. See, this is the first government shutdown or buildup to a government shutdown. We're beyond it because we're in the shutdown now. But this is the first time that we've either had a government shutdown or a buildup to a government shutdown where the Republicans were on the winning side so far as the narrative. And, I talk a lot about what it was like to be a Republican before Trump came down the escalator. It sucked because we had weakling leaders who were always caving to the other side for no reason at all. And I've given many examples about it I'm not going to give any examples right now, but they always would cave. And the reason that Republicans would cave in the past is because the Republicans always always were responding to the narrative that was set by the left through the media and all of that. And what we're dealing with right now is, for the very first time on one of these big policy issues in the Congress, the Republicans have set the narrative and the Democrats are responding to our narrative, which our narrative, by the way, is true, that this is all about them wanting to pay for illegals to have health insurance coverage. And there's some reasons for that that haven't been talked about too much, which I may get into in a little bit. Whenever you're responding, you're losing, right? Whenever you're responding, you're losing. And the left, you know, if you think about it, and you may have noticed this, but if you haven't, you will hear this all the time now. When liberals call me, and this has always been this way, liberals never call. I know there's always exceptions to every rule, but as a rule, when liberals call me, and it's always been this way, they never call in and make a statement about what we're discussing. What do? They ask a question. Sometimes I play along, sometimes I don't. And you know, but they start with a question, because if you're responding, the liberals are pretty stupid and deranged, but they know one thing. If they set the narrative and you're responding, they think they're winning. And you see that in the liberal callers that call me, they always have questions, right? They want to start with questions. Let me ask you this. Do you think? Do that? Right? That's what liberals do. And they have had a lot of success with that. Not our callers. I'm talking about the Democrat Party setting the narrative. And Republicans have always been losers, not just because they've been weak before Trump. They're always responding to the narrative that the Democrats are setting. And Donald Trump, before he ran for president, was the first conservative to set the narrative. The first time he did this in the political realm, I'm sure he was doing it all the time in the New York press to get things done that he wanted to get done there with the real estate and all that. But when he was the host of the Celebrity Apprentice, before he was running for president, and he started asking Obama to produce the birth certificate, and Obama eventually produced a document that he said was his birth certificate. Remember all that? That was the first time I'd seen any conservative set the narrative. And he's been doing that ever since he came down the escalator. Donald Trump has been setting the narrative. But this time it's completely different. The narrative has been set by the Republicans in a way that it never has been. It's so bad with the Democrats that there's a political war going on right now in Washington. And it's not between Democrats and Republicans, or the left and the right, or MAGA and Democrats, or Democrats versus MAGA, or Democrats versus Trump. It's not that. The political battle that's going on right now in Washington is Democrat versus Democrat. And if you remember, in the first campaign, when Trump ran for president the first time, he would say all the time in his rally speeches, say what you want to say about the Democrats, but they always stick together. Not anymore. And this really started to happen publicly when President Trump on Monday, late in the afternoon, dropped that meme with Hakeem Jeffries and the sombrero with the mustache. And then the AI generated things that Schumer said, which were all true about, the Democrat Party and illegals and all that, and black people. It was amazing. And they've been responding ever since, because Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, Steve and I were talking about this the other day, and it's gotten 1,000 times worse. Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer have become what is the end of a career if you're a politician. They have both become objects of public ridicule. Objects of public ridicule. Once that happens and you're a politician, you are done. You're done. The textbook example everybody refers to is Dukakis in the tank. And that's kind of like the historical one that people point to. But I've seen it happen many times. President Trump in the first campaign when he was running against all of those Republicans. Remember, was it Lindsey Graham he gave his cell phone number out, and Jeb was the turtle, and little Marco, and all of that. Those are examples of ridicule. And as soon as President Trump started making one of them the object of his ridicule, soon thereafter they were out of the race. Right? And Jeb was out when President Trump said, in the first debate, you were next to me. Now you're over there. The next time you're going to be off the stage. Remember all that? Those are examples. When Al Gore ran in 2000, every other day there was a thing. Same thing with John Kerry. And when anyone who's a politician, a political leader, whether they're running for office or they become a leader, and like these two jokers are, and they become an object of ridicule, that's it. I mean, it's so bad that Hakeem Jeffries, I've seen him on multiple interviews where they not only ask him about the sombrero video, in some instances on CNN, they've played it and made him watch it. And you can tell by looking at Hakeem Jeffries, he is so thrown off by this because Democrats are not accustomed to being on the receiving end. Right? And they because they're not accustomed to it, they don't know how to handle it. And he's a broken man, Hakeem Jeffries. He is a broken man. When you're in public, you have to learn not to let things bother you. When I was younger, I used to. If some of you are longtime listeners, you may remember something. I'm not going to remind anybody. But, you learn, and none of these things matter. Now, people say some of the worst things you can say to a human, and I don't even, I barely even hear it. But Hakeem Jeffries isn't used to it because he's a Democrat, they have immunity, and he's a minority, which gives him double immunity. And Schumer, what his problem is AOC. AOC is coming after him in the primary. In fact, she dropped a video yesterday, even though the government shut down because they need a 60-vote majority in the Senate to avoid the filibuster. They have all these rules in the Senate that are just stupid. It should be 51 on everything, but it's not. And she is offering to head up the Senate negotiations for the Democrats. And she's in the House. So there's a lot of fractioning going on in the Democrat Party, which is new, never happened before, not like this. And there's infighting at a level we've never had, and the Democrat Party is about to collapse. Now, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our first break of the day. We'll come back with some calls, and there's a lot to cover as far as this goes. If you'd like to call in, the number's toll-free, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening. Are you or someone you know suffering from neuropathy? Then you want to call Lighthouse Medical. Lighthouse Medical is a lifesaver. I'm here to tell you, Steve Kane had neuropathy as bad as you can have it. And he wasn't going to go on, we had a cruise coming up. He wasn't going to be able to go on the cruise. He's like, how can I go on a cruise? I can't get out of bed. And I found Lighthouse Medical. I wasn't thinking about them being an advertiser on the program. I just wanted Steve to make the cruise. And they rid him of his neuropathy symptoms. And over 3 years later, they haven't returned. And they can help you no matter where you're located in the United States. You don't have to be. You don't have to go to the office in person in Pompano. Now, if you can, you should. But if you can't, that's okay. Give them a call and say bye-bye to your neuropathy. All right, it works. It's really amazing. I was in shock when Steve had. I always forget if he had his treatment on a Thursday or a Friday. I think he had it on a Thursday. No, he had it on a Friday. I remember. He had his first neuropathy treatment at Lighthouse Medical on a Friday. He took the day off, and I didn't hear from him all day. And I'm like, what's going on? And I called him Saturday morning. I said, I said, how's it going? He's like, the neuropathy symptoms, they're going away already. The next day, he was seeing relief. It's a free consultation. If you mention you heard about them on the Steve Kane Show, 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642. 754-222-6642, and online, lighthousemedicalcenter.com. We'll be right back. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. We'll take some calls when we get back. I'm at the radio station today, so I can't take calls during the break at the radio station because it'd be on the air. So can't do that. My headache's a little better. Maybe it's the caffeine. But I still have a really splitting headache. Really bad. I lost a couple more pounds. I don't know. Can you guys see it in my face? I lost a couple more pounds. Because, you know why? Because holidays are coming up. And I have a couple weaknesses around Thanksgiving and Christmas. My favorite food in the whole world is pumpkin pie. I love pumpkin pie, and you can only get it one time a year. So I'm losing a few more pounds so that I could eat pumpkin pie and be back to my ideal weight. I did cry when Charlie Kirk died, absolutely. I cried when Trump got shot, and I cried when that Democrat assassinated Charlie Kirk, absolutely. I still can't believe it. If you're on hold, hang in there, guys. Here's Steve right now.
Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
Brian here. I'm in studio with Joe Thomas. Joe, you were telling me about bonus annuities. What's a bonus annuity and how do they work?
So it's an annuity that gives you an upfront amount of money. For every dollar you put in, they're going to bonus you, say, 10% upfront. And that money is given to you instantly, put into your account, and put there for a later day when you want income or you want to take interest out.
So if I put $50,000 into an annuity, I'm going to make $5,000 before I leave your office?
Exactly. Now it comes with conditions, right? You have to keep the annuity in place for a certain amount of years. You have to take income, or you have to take interest out at some point in the future. We explain all that in detail when you sit down with us.
That sounds amazing. 10% on your money before you even get back in your car. Give Joe Thomas a call. It's
All right, we're coming back.
Consultation 561-743-0999.
If you're on hold, hang in there.
561-743-0999 and online, JupiterJoe.com.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True Oldies.
All right, we're back. That's the first time I heard that commercial. That's the commercial you recorded that commercial with Jupiter Joe Thomas and me. Mike recorded that. Was that last week in the studio, and it came out perfectly, and totally unscripted, recorded commercial came out perfectly. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. 1-888-465-2631 is the number. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name is Chris. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I'm one of those dirty liberals. Well, I'm not a liberal. I'm a leftist, but I figured I'd call in.
And so you're a leftist and you don't bathe? You're dirty? Why don't you bathe?
Yeah, no, I bathe. I just wanted to talk about the government shutdown. I think your analysis is spot on. Chuck Schumer is a loser. Hakeem Jeffries has the charisma of a wet paper bag, and I think the messaging for the Democrats is terrible.
You know what your problem with Hakeem Jeffries is? He's a DEI hire. Because he's not white and I get, is he Muslim? He has a Muslim sounding name. So a couple check marks and boom, he's your leader leading you to doom. But let me ask you this. You're a grown man, right? Like, how old are you?
I'm 35.
Why is a 35-year-old man not a Trump supporter in 2025? I'm curious.
Yeah, I mean, I think like part of what you just said about Hakeem Jeffries. Now, I agree that he is not qualified for the job, but I think like alluding to him being hired as, because he's a Muslim or whatever, that kind of, I'm African American, by the way, and that kind of talk just makes me feel uncomfortable.
Oh, well, what a makes you feel uncomfortable? That's a very feminine thing to say. Real men don't feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I guess the left is.
Were your parents married? Did you grow up in a two-parent household?
Yes, I did.
And you use feminine phrase like that? You don't like the way it feels?
I don't know where you're going on that.
Well, what's happening? Yeah, go ahead.
I think like, to be honest, I think I just want to talk the strategy. I think that the Democrats are absolutely, I don't want to curse on your show, are just messing this up completely. I think a better time if they wanted to do a shutdown would have been the first continuing resolution.
Let me ask you, what is, keep this to Trump's second term, just his second term, okay? What is Trump done in his second term that a grown man would not think is a good thing for America?
Yeah, I think like the tariffs are a perfect example. I mean, let me just say my point. If you look at the soy sales for soy farmers, last year they sold $20 billion worth of soy to China. This year, China has reduced the sale of soy to zero by July. So, that's a lot of money. Our economy is, taking.
Boy, this is a bizarre call. I got a man on the line whose feelings get hurt and he's worried about soy. You're calling me from. I mean, you're a living, breathing soy boy. You're a soy boy. You are a meme. Yeah. Are you a proud soy boy?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh my gosh. But hold on a second. Hold on. You talk about these tariffs, okay? Think about this, okay? You're calling me from Detroit. Detroit used to be one of the most prominent great cities in America, and it's gone to crap. And do you know why that is? Why do you think that it used to be a great, beautiful city, and now it's garbage?
You'd say the liberal leadership and corruption in the Detroit.
No. What's happened? No. I'm relating it to what you talked about. Democrats at the national party level, okay, because of they're selling out of America to these other world. The main industry of Detroit, making cars, was exported. Yeah, was exported to Canada, to Korea, to Japan, and all over the place. And what the tariffs are doing is bringing auto manufacturing back to the United States. Even like Toyota and other foreign companies are bringing.
The Hyundai plant in Georgia, where Trump and ICE detained and deported a bunch of Korean engineers who were working on.
They weren't just some of them were engineers and some of them were sweeping the floors. But that's exactly right. The Democrats. You asked. Let me answer. Then you can get your point out. The Democrats brought in all these illegal workers, like those at the Hyundai plant, and it shows that the Democrats were bringing in illegals into this country to. They were bringing illegals into the country to take high-paying, high-skilled jobs away that good, hard-working guys from Detroit used to have.
Well, before we say Democrats, right? I think there's corruption among all of the politicians. So let's take fair shots at Sean Kemp, who signed off on the Hyundai.
Well, he's a corrupt Republican. He's no friend of MAGA.
But furthermore, those 500 or so illegals from Korea, they were there to get the plant started. I mean, the plant would have.
So what? We have people here that can do it.
This plant would have generated thousands of jobs for Americans in Georgia. Those people are familiar with Hyundai's processes because they're Korean. Hyundai's a Korean company. They were here temporarily to stand the plant up. They would have went back home. And so we can handle, a couple hundred people coming from Korea to build this plant or help us make the plant workable so that, in a couple months when we
see this is the problem. See, this is the problem. You're okay with illegals coming to the country taking six-figure jobs away from Americans because they didn't go through the proper process to get work documentation to work here.
Visas expired.
Yeah.
There was a process in which they were applying for the visas in our system.
Oh my! See, this is the problem. See, if you were calling me like 40 years ago, you'd be on your way to work at an auto plant instead of sitting around in an abandoned city. Listen, I got to run for a break. Welcome to the show. Make sure you follow. All right, and give me a call again sometime. Yes, that'll be your handle on the show, Soy Boy from Detroit, or the Detroit Soy Boy. Well, we'll decide. I don't know. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back.
It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Oh, man. Did you find that that disclaimer I told you about?
Yeah.
Did you listen to it?
No, I have to go to Mike's office.
There was a commercial I recorded last week for Mike. I don't know if you've heard it. It's about a Charlie Kirk memorial. Have you heard it run?
I haven't heard it run.
Oh, okay. I haven't either. I didn't know where it was running. They just sent me a copy to record it, and I don't. It was for. I know who it was for, the company it was for, but I hadn't heard it. I wanted to find out about the memorial, and I forgot. I lost the copy, and I forgot what I said.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've heard it at all.
Yeah, it was for a maybe it's not running on the station. Maybe they're using it somewhere else. It was for America Strong Storm Doors Company. No.
It's not familiar.
Okay.
I feel like I would know this, but if I heard it.
The reason is I want to know where. I'll ask Mike. I'll ask about it because I wanted to promote that thing online, and I just and I wasn't sure where to send people.
Yeah,
I'll ask him.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. No, someone's doing a memorial for Charlie Kirk in Florida, like building a memorial, and they had me record a commercial that's running on a bunch of radio stations, and I don't know. I couldn't remember the website address.
Come in for a free consultation. Always welcome at Appleton Chiropractic. I'm here 6 days a week. I personally do
If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Yeah, this is our bottom of the hour break. My headache is so bad. I know you probably wouldn't know it if I didn't mention it, but it's on a scale of 1 to 10. I'd say it's about a 6 or a 7. And yeah, it's about a 6 or 7. But the show must go on. A 6 or 7, yeah. A 10 being like so bad I got to go to sleep. It's really a bad one. It's a bad one. And I got 2.5 hours left on the air, and then I got meetings after. Ugh.
Hey, Brian Craig here. You hear me talk with attorney Barry Siegel every day about how we can help you and your family. Now here's one.
That's. So during some of the breaks, I got to take it easy today, because it's one of those headaches that it's like. That's life. Life in the fast lane, guys. Oh. No, I'm not going to take drugs. I don't think so. If you're on hold, hang in there. No, show's got to go on. I have no Tylenol, nothing with me. If I was home, I would just take Tylenol. But I don't have anything here. I'm hoping the caffeine would help. Maybe it's helped a little bit. It's not as bad as it was about half an hour ago. Sometimes that caffeine can help with a headache. All right, we're coming back.
3782 and online SiegelLawGroup.com.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 49 years on the air.
All righty, we're back. I'm Brian, the Steve Kane Show. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Jonathan.
Oh, here we go. Yes, Jonathan, go ahead. Oh, my goodness. Yes, what's up? Turn down the volume in the background, and then you can ask your question that I'm probably going to have to dump. Did you check to make sure the delay's on? Yeah, okay.
You said that word.
All right, what's with this heavy breathing? What are you, like a phone sex operator? Come on. All right, what's your question? See what I mean about the liberals?
Are you worried that my voice is either way? My question is, why are you defending someone who's likely implicated on the Epstein files? Why are you so dead set on protecting this man?
I don't know who you're referencing.
Oh, you know, and I both know.
No, I have no idea.
Oh, come on now. They were in photos together.
Mm-hmm.
Friends.
You know, yeah. No, none of that's true. Nope, not pen pals.
Really? Oh, really? Why is he so scared of these files then? First he said there were files, then there were...
You know, for a man, I'm not sure you're a man, but, you know, for someone this is a very interesting call. I love this. You're calling another man's bravery. You're a guy, right? You're calling another man's bravery into question, and you're talking in this weird voice to kind of disguise your identity and everything. It sounds like you're the one who needs to butch up a little bit. All right, take care. I'd thank you for the call, but if I did that, I'd be lying, and I don't want to lie even to losers like that. All right, so I wanted to, some of the things that are going on here. So let me finish up with what I was telling you about the end of the Democrat Party. See, what's happening with the Democrat Party right now is this entire budget battle has nothing to do about Democrat versus Republican, Trump, MAGA versus liberals. What it's about is an internal struggle inside the Democrat Party. Okay, and people have talked a little bit about AOC is moving to primary Schumer. She wants that Senate seat. And what's happened here is the Democrat Party, I keep seeing these Democrats on X commenting about the insurance for the illegals, and there's hardly a natural-born American among them. Now, I understand AOC's a natural-born American and all that stuff. I'm not talking about her, but a lot of other ones. And a lot of them are radical lunatics. And what happened, the beginning of the end, there were two things the Democrats did that was the beginning of the end of the Democrat Party. The first one was Bernie Sanders, when he was running in the Democrat primaries. People forget this, right? When he was running in the Democrat primaries, I guess it had to be 08. It had to be 08. No, I think it was 2012. It was 2012 when Hillary Clinton was running in the Democrat primary and eventually she won the nomination up against Trump. It was 2012. It was that one. And there was a lot of debate as to whether the Democrats should allow Bernie Sanders in the presidential debate because he's not a Democrat. He's an officially registered Democratic socialist. See, sometimes people are of a third party in the Senate. They're of a third party or they're independent. They're non-party affiliated, but for the purposes of the Senate votes, they caucus with a certain party. Like Joe Lieberman left the Democrat Party. There were a couple of others and became independents, but they caucused with the Democrats, so their vote went towards the Democrat majority, right? That's happened forever. But they led Bernie Sanders into the presidential primary debates, who was not a Democrat. He was a Democratic Socialist. And that's when they got in, the Democratic Socialist. There's a video, I'm going to show it to people that watch me on YouTube in a little bit, maybe during one of the next breaks, of Bernie Sanders with AOC putting his hands on her, and she does not like it. I'm going to share that video coming up in just a bit. You won't want to. If you guys watch me on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. But when they let him in as a Democratic Socialist, that was the beginning of the end for the Democrats. And then we ended up, and then the next nail in the coffin of the Democrat Party was the Squad, where they're all Democratic Socialist. And now they have a Democratic Socialist who just won the Democrat nomination for mayor of New York City, Zohan. And these Democratic Socialists are trying to destroy the Democrat Party. See, back in 2010, when the Tea Party was around, the Republican Party the establishment was actively working to defeat the Tea Party Republicans in congressional races, just like the Republican establishment was working to defeat President Trump in his first 2 presidential elections. By this one, they gave up. And we talked about this at the time. The party establishment would rather lose the election than lose control of the party. So right now, the Democratic Socialists, which are led by Bernie Sanders, AOC, and if Zohan wins the mayor's race in New York, he'll be number 3. But the Democratic Socialists aren't trying to win anything. They don't want the budget battle resolved because they know that the mainstream Democrat Party of Hakeem Jeffries and Schumer are going to get the blame for it. The Democratic Socialists are trying to take over the party totally and push all these old people out. And the Democrat Party is about to collapse. And what's going to happen, and it may collapse after the midterms, because these AOC and Bernie Sanders people, they want to lose the midterm elections. I know that seems crazy. They want to lose the midterm elections so they can come in as the saviors, the Democratic Socialist. That's what's going on here. And the Democrat Party, when it collapses, they very well may officially, if Zohan wins the mayor's race in New York, and the Democrats lose seats in the House and the Senate in the midterms and don't gain, and there's a larger MAGA Republican majority, they may actually change the name of the Democrat Party to the Democratic Socialist Party, which really is a front for communism. You know, McCarthy was right. We're being taken over by communists, and they are communist. Don't be fooled that Bernie Sanders and AOC and many of the Squad are multimillionaires. If you went to the Soviet Union or Cuba, you know, all the party leaders live like millionaires, even in the Soviet Union in those days, okay? They're never living in poverty. They just want everybody else to be in poverty. So that's what's happening here. The Democratic Socialists are trying to lose this budget battle. They're going to work to try to lose the midterms, except their own individual seats. And we're going to get a new political party, which is something I never thought we would see, the Democratic Socialist Party. And the Democrats did this to themselves because they're always trying to do outreach to new groups. So they let Bernie Sanders in that debate, that Democrat primary debate, as a Democratic Socialist. And people forget it was a big thing. Should he even be allowed? He's not a Democrat. He's a Democrat Socialist. He's in the wrong primary. He needs to run in the Democrat Socialist candidate primary. But they wanted those Democrat Socialist votes. See, Democrats don't think too much. You say this all the time. You know, it's a very known thing. They're all about feelings, about emotions, and all of that. And all they can think about is immediate satisfaction. And they wanted those Democrat Socialist votes. And now the activists and lunatics have taken over their party and are purposely wrecking it so they can take it over. And it's actually it's a double-edged sword, because it's a good thing in so many ways, But if they're successful and take over the party, we're going to have a communist party parading themselves around as the Democratic Socialist Party. And that's exactly what is going on here. And it's as plain as day to see. Now, if you'd like to call in, our number's toll-free, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, Josh. What's up?
Hey, I've been subscribed to you for over a year, man. I have to ask you, what's so bad about being Democratic Socialist? Like, Zoran Mamdani wants to make free buses, and he wants to have cheaper groceries. He wants to, help the union workers and working class people in New York City. Is that bad or good?
Before I will answer your question, but I gotta first ask: Are you kidding me, or are you serious?
I'm not. I am. Okay, I am a Republican, but I lived in New York City. Just hear me out. I lived in New York City for 15 years. I don't live there no more. I moved out. But I know how. I worked in New York City. I lived there. I used transportation. It's bad. Like, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me answer your question. Okay. See, all these things that Zohan Mamdani's talking about, making the buses faster, free buses, free this, free groceries, free rent, free. It's not about any of that. He's running. He has one major agenda. What do you think that is? He has one major agenda. It's not about any of this free stuff you talked about. What do you think his real reason for running for mayor of New York City is?
You said it earlier. The Democrat Socialists are.
No. Zohan Mamdani is running for one reason and one reason only. He wants to do to New York City what they did to London, England. He wants to Islamify it. This is about an Islamic takeover of New York City, our greatest city.
Brian, do you think he wants to make a Sharia law and bring in Muslim terrorists?
No, I don't think he's into Sharia law. He wants,
terrorism?
No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say he's a terrorist. He wants to. No, what? All right, here we go. All right. See, I had a good ear for that guy, and I said, "Are you serious?" and everything else, and then he's dropping all kinds of words and things we shouldn't say. So if you're on hold, stand by. We'll go to the phones after the break. But what Zohan's plan is to Islamify New York City, and if New York City becomes Islamified by London, like London, it's the biggest domino ever, pushing this country into a direction that may not be able to be stopped. And that's his sole purpose for running. None of this other crap. And you know what? I was going to get into this with this guy, but he dropped like 3 or 4 words that you can't use, so I had to hang up and dump him. That's why you hang up and then hit the dump button. I love when I hear people at other radio stations hit the dump button and leave the caller on. There's, oh my goodness. I love that. But he had an accent. And it was a slight accent. And my guess is it's a Muslim accent that the guy had. I was going to get into that, but he dropped all those words before I could get into that. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Who am I going to tell you guys about? Oh, I know who I'm going to tell you about. Oh, no, I don't. Yeah, no, I can't tell you about him today because he's off today. I know who I'm going to tell you guys about. If you're watching online, I'll just tell you this real quick. I've lost a few more pounds, and you can see it in my face. I've lost some more weight, and I did that on purpose with Coastal Weight Loss Secret. And you know why? Because we're in October now. And I have this time of year, because we've got Thanksgiving coming up, then we've got Christmas, right? And my favorite food in the whole world is really mainly only available this time of year, and that is pumpkin pie. I could live off of pumpkin pie. So I did a little preemptive weight loss I lost some more weight thanks to Coastal Weight Loss Secret, so that when I get to the pumpkin pie coming up in a few weeks, I can eat the pumpkin pie and get back to my ideal weight, which is a few pounds heavier than I am right now. This is the lightest I have been. Right now, my weight is the lightest I have been since I was 20 years old. Isn't that nuts? That's absolutely amazing. And, you know, the thing with Coastal Weight Loss Secret, it's so easy because I can eat foods I normally want. But the problem with the pumpkin pie, I don't have just a piece. I eat the whole pie, okay? I eat the whole pie. I love it. And no whipped cream, just plain pumpkin pie, refrigerated. I don't eat one. I eat the whole pie. I bring home a pumpkin pie, it'll be gone by the morning, okay? That's it. Hey, it's only once a year. You only get it this time of year. They don't even have it yet at Publix. But anyway, you can eat foods you normally would eat. No exercise, no shots, no injections, no medications. And it's so easy. That's why the maintaining phase is so easy, because there's no major lifestyle changes. If I had to exercise and starve myself and all that, I'd have gained the weight back. Not only have I gained nothing back, I just decided a little while ago I wanted to lose some more weight, and I did it. And I did it on a dime. Give them a call and schedule your free consultation. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. And online, coastalweightlossecret.com. We'll be right back.
A cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Imagine a world where all your smart devices work together seamlessly in one simple ecosystem. Introducing the Sloman Shield Link. With Sloman Shield Link, transform your home into a truly intelligent smart home experience. Control your lights, heating, and cooling. Doors locked, cameras, TVs, just about anything in your home. Life is busy, and daily stresses add up. But with the Sloman Shield Link, your home tech works in harmony, making life more convenient, safe, and enjoyable. Imagine pulling into your driveway, and with one tap, your home welcomes you. Lights on, doors unlocked, only to hear your favorite music. A true smart home isn't just about gadgets, it's about comfort and security. With Sloman Shield, enjoy a full integration of home security and automation.
Oh man, this headache is just
Make your life easier and your home a safer
rough.
haven. Learn more at
It's a bad one.
or call 1-800-ALARM-ME. Embrace the future of home living with Sloman Shield Link. Don't you hate it when you buy something online?
It's a bad one.
With a huge shipping charge at checkout, not at mypillow.com. Right now, enjoy free shipping on all orders $100 or more when you use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at mypillow.com. This is your chance to stock up on unbeatable deals on everything side-by-side. Soft sheets, cozy slippers, plush bathrooms, mattresses, mattress toppers, headbeds. It's free shipping on all orders $100 or more. Order now at mypillow.com and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, for free shipping.
Now, you can see it on my face where I've lost a few more pounds.
Listen this Saturday at 7 a.m. Allow me to interview top leaders in the South Florida community.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom Laporta and proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I've brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems.
We'll be back
to
shortly.
receive
It's the
best
last commercial.
customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
Alrighty, we're back. I'm Brian, the Steve Kane Show. Okay, so Elon Musk, who, by the way, the richest man who's ever lived, his new net worth is $500 billion. Nobody has ever been worth that much. $500 billion. I just saw that today. But Elon Musk started this latest boycott of Netflix, and I was reading on X. I just saw this on X. It says Netflix has lost $15.1 billion in market value since users began canceling subscriptions in protest of its woke content. Okay, so Elon Musk has a personal gripe with the trans movement because his son story and all that stuff. And Elon Musk posted on X the other day that he canceled his Netflix subscription, and he did it over this controversial transgender show that they have on. And I didn't really think too much about it. I do have Netflix, and I will be canceling it today. And I'll tell you why, okay? I have canceled Netflix so many times I've lost track for different things. And it's usually pretty easy to cancel because I've got so many streaming apps, and Netflix is the worst. They have the least that I want to watch anyway. And I remember I canceled it. I think I canceled it because they made that multi-million-dollar deal with the Obamas and all that. Remember that? It might have been another one. And then Squid Game came out, and I resubscribed because I wanted to watch Squid Game. And by the way, Squid Game season 2 and 3 suck. Have you seen Squid Game season 2 and 3? Do you like it? No, I can't get past the first episode. I can't of either season, and I tried, but but I'm going to I saw the scene in question from this children's show, this babysitter show on Netflix. Remember that caller that called in earlier in the hour, and he says he's a dirty liberal. I said, you don't be. I felt dirty. Well, I felt like this. It's a scene in a hospital. There's a little girl in a hospital bed. I guess it's called Babysitter something is the name of the show, and the babysitter's next to her. I don't know where the parents are. And the nurses and doctors keep coming in and calling her a he because that's what they are on the records. And the camera, you see the child who is a child that's got to be like 8, 9, 10, who's, I guess, become a girl. And they're getting more and more uncomfortable and upset. And the babysitter's getting upset as another person comes in and calls her a him and all this stuff. It is one of the sickest things I have ever seen. It is so, and it's not just because of the politics. It's because it involves children. It is, and I'm assuming the show is for kids. I'm not going to play it on the show for a couple of reasons. One, it's one of those things you don't want to see. It is really, really sick. I'm trying to think of an equivalent to it, but I can't think of anything offhand. But I felt dirty. It is really that bad. And when I first heard about Elon, I don't really pay much attention to what Elon Musk says anymore. After what he did to President Trump, and all this, it's just, it's disappointing, and I haven't paid much attention to him. And when I heard he was boycotting Netflix, I'm like, I know my wife and I talked about it yesterday. I remember a couple weeks ago, I was going through Netflix on a Saturday or a Sunday. I couldn't find anything to watch because it's all crap. There's really not a lot there. And but this is one of the worst things I have ever seen in my life. And I'm going to have my wife cancel it today. I mean, there's no reason anyone should be paying for this kind of programming. It is sick and twisted and perverted and inappropriate, and no one should be supporting Netflix with this crap that's there. It's really bad. I mean, it's really bad. It's not just something with, I have no problem with transgender people. I've been around, we used to have, unfortunately, they went out of business. We used to have a dinner theater in the 90s that advertised on the program that had female impersonators. And they were like top-level female impersonators, the kind that could get a guy in trouble like some of those actors got in trouble with in Hollywood a couple times. And there's nothing wrong with female impersonators, and I don't probably, but when they're selling it to children, consenting adults is one thing. When they're selling it to children, little children that are 10 and under, that's when it gets in the sicko category, right? You know, and what's scary about it is for something to get made like that and then put on a platform, it has to go through so many people. You know how hard it is to get a television show or a movie made, even for a streaming service? How many people? So the people that have to, the process it has to go through, there's no one there that says, this is insane, this is wrong. They've lost total sense of right and wrong and moral and immoral. And I might have retweeted the scene. If I haven't, I'll retweet it. I'll look for it and retweet it. I'm not going to watch it or play it. You can make the choice. I would recommend not watching it. It's one of those things you can't unsee. And you know, and people that don't have children, you may not get that same feeling. But when you have kids and you see what they're selling, you know, I noticed this when my daughter was in high school. I remember I used to pick my daughter up before she could drive. I would pick her up from school every day. And I know there were a lot of gay kids at her high school. And I saw these two guys. I don't know, they were high school kids, like between 9th and 12th grade. I don't know. And they were waiting to get picked up, and they were sitting on a bench. They both had their shirts off, and they were rubbing all over each other. And my daughter got in the car. I said, those guys are gay? She says, no, that's just how guys are. I said, no. I said, they're gay. Guys don't rub on each other like that and sit on each other's laps and rubbing on their chest. I couldn't believe it. And I would see this all the time. I don't know what was going on at my daughter's high school. It was a very good school, and it still is a very good school. It's one of the reasons we bought our house we're in, because of the schools. But there were so many, and I saw there were more gay people at my daughter's high school than I've seen anywhere outside of like a Pride Fest. You would see, like if you're in Fort Lauderdale Beach, it's Pride Week or something. I couldn't believe it. But then they moved beyond gay into this trans thing, and then sex change operations, and you're making permanent decisions when you're a young child. You know, you think about when you're young. I don't mean just as a child, when you're a young adult, like when you're 18 or above, and you're first out on your own, and you're older now, like you're in your 40s or older. Could you imagine if you made a life-changing decision when you were 18, 19, 20, to permanently change your body in an irreversible way, in a pretty serious way, like having your penis turned into a vagina or something? You know, I mean, are you the same person you were at 18? Can you imagine? And they're doing this with 8-year-old kids and stuff. And it's really bad. So out of all the boycotts that people have been, and you don't hear me talk about this trans thing very often, because I don't, but this one is the worst I've ever seen. And all these past Netflix boycotts have been over just minor disagreements. This is like the real deal this time around. If you're on hold, hang in there. 1 hour down, 2 to go. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number is 888-465-2631. We'll break for the top of the hour and be right back after this.
Miramar, WFLM 104.7 HD3 Palm Beach Shores, and heard in Broward on 96.9 FM, Boca Raton on 95.3 FM, West Palm Beach on 95.9 FM, and in Martin County on 106.9 FM. We are South Florida's home for the True Oldies channel. Now, here's the True Oldies weather forecast.
Today, heavy rain and breezy with a high of 82 degrees. Into the evening, showers likely and windy with a low of 77 degrees. On Friday, showers.
I'm not going to play the clip, but I'll show you. This is on my X. Oh, hold on, I got to find it again. Hold on, let me pull it back up.
On the Turnpike southbound, as you're approaching Indian Town Road, watch for emergency vehicles on the scene of a crash. There's a broken down vehicle on the Turnpike southbound at Glades Road. Spot something on the roads, call the
Okay, yeah, this is it right here. It's called The Babysitter's Club on Netflix.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach
And you see the nurse calls. You see, these are the kids. See how young they are? So the nurse is calling her a boy. See how young the child is? That's the child. Born a boy, now a girl. Then the doctor calls in, calls her a boy. Look at the look on their face. That's the babysitter. You know, and it's just too much. It's just too much. If you're watching on the main stream, you can see it. Those of you on the long stream, the link to my main stream's in the description of the video. Go over there and you'll see. I mean, it's really bad. It's really bad.
Cozy slippers, plush bathrobes, mattresses, mattress toppers, pet beds. It's free shipping on all orders $100 or more. Order now at mypillow.com and use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, for free shipping.
This is Steve Kane. Medicare can be confusing. That's why each year at this time, we call Debbie and I will advisors to guide us through every plan, every choice.
It's bad. And that's not my normal issue that I talk about, because I've always thought it was so bizarre that it would, on its own, fade away, but that's just not the case.
She represents all the major national companies. The number 954-753-8080. That's 954-753-8080.
All right, we're coming back.
753-8080. Tell her Steve Kane sent you.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. If you're on hold, stand by. There's 2 openings on the board at 1-888-465-2631. I was just showing people during the break that scene I was talking about. It is so over the line. I mean, it's really dirty is a way to feel after you. It's really bad. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, good morning, Brian. Chris from Pompano.
Hey, Chris.
Good morning. Yeah, that's always been a sore spot with me, how Democrats have really, since the inception of this Department of Education and implementing GLSEN and all that, twisting their arm in the early 80s, and gone down straight to the kids. They've gone from the colleges straight down to the elementary students. But this latest thing, because it'll get bad tonight. If you think this is bad, it's going to go from bad to worse, as if you think that can't happen. But that's been their trend. This New Jersey, whatever person that's running for governor, the female, she already wants to take the more parenting away from the parents and not let their kids opt out.
Well, let me tell you how this happened. All this trans stuff. Gay activism has been a big business. It was really booming between AIDS and all this stuff. And while there's no cure for AIDS, there's treatments now. It's not a death sentence like it used to be. And the gays have achieved everything they went after, right? There's no right that the gays were after they haven't gotten now. They're in the military, they got married, everything. So these gay activist organizations have 6, 7-figure, 8-figure earning people. There's a lot of money to be made in it. And instead of closing up, they became transgender activists. And that's how this has all happened, man. And it's
almost 50 years now, and and they won't stop, and they have a lobby, and they have a seat at the Democrat table, and I hate the government forcing their arm on this, but that's your callers that call in and all that. The only reason that they're sticking to the Democrat Party is because of this activism and this whole gay thing, and they use their mediums. It doesn't matter if it's Rachel Maddow in her chair or some comedian or Hollywood types. And there's too much control and power, and they just have to stop. They're miserable, and they're continuing to.
Well, if somebody is a grown adult and they, and they want to have this, there used to be a process. Okay, sex change operations have been around since the 50s, and the way it worked up until recently, and up until when I say recently, up until say the last 10 or 15 years. You couldn't just go and get a sex change operation. You had to live as that other sex for a year minimum before they would even do the surgery. With all kinds of now, it's like going in and getting a boob job, getting a sex change operation.
and it's horrible. And I wish people really, instead of having an automatic bias because of what they represent, because you said it well yesterday, your lifestyle. Like me, I always support conservatives because I support the military. And same thing, Steve always says if you have skin in the game. But this is ridiculous, that what they're doing to society. And it has to stop, especially as it gets to the children, the people under 18. Let the parents raise their kids and stop bombarding them using the long arm of the government to ruin their life.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I said, all right, appreciate the call, Chris. All right, you take care. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yes, it's Steve from Boca, Brian.
All right, Steve, what's up?
Okay, so President Trump and the Republicans should come out and say what these Democrats really are. They should come out and say that there's a very large portion of the Democratic Party that are communist. And it's really what they are, Brian. They're not democratic socialists, they're communists. And it would be very smart for people to hear Republicans to identify this wing of the Democratic Party as communists. They call him fascists. They call him Nazis. They call us all kinds of names which are lies. But if we tell the truth, these communists want the violence. They like Antifa. They like the violence. The fellow in Chicago, Pritzker, he wants the violence. All these cities that are trying to discourage Trump from preventing violence want the violence, these blue cities, because they're communists.
The thing, it's, before you move on to number two, yesterday I had I don't know if you heard the call yesterday from the guy that from San Francisco that I was talking to about his gay stuff. And he told me he was bisexual. And I said, no, that's gay. And he was taken aback by that. What do you mean? He's uncomfortable being gay, so he calls himself bi, And these democratic socialists, AOC and Bernie Sanders have no problem being communist, but they know that even the left-wing American people en masse would not support an open communist. So they came up with this democratic socialist thing, which is more palatable to liberals than being a communist. So you're right. If we would properly define them as what they are, it would go a long way.
You're not helping. There's a second point I want to make, and I'll be brief, but you're not helping our case by even mentioning the word democratic socialist, because it's a lie. It's not what they are. And we have to be accurate about what they are and take this seriously, because it's a huge threat. They wanted to put Trump in jail. They put all of his supporters, his legal people, Clark, all of them, Giuliani. Look what these are communists, and these are the actions of communists. The last point, and so please don't use the word democratic socialist. Start saying communist, because that's what they are. And anybody that listens to your station, which many of them do, they should start to do this. The second point is this, please, for people like Renee. Martin Luther King is entitled to have a celebratory birthday in this country. It's a holiday. But the one man that the black people do not celebrate and should celebrate is the one man that took a bullet in the head for all black people, and that's Abraham Lincoln. I don't hear enough black people coming out and saying Abraham Lincoln was a wonderful man. We all celebrate MLK, and he should be celebrated. He was a very good man. But the guy that really did more for black people in this country was Abraham Lincoln. And I think you don't hear Renee once say Abraham.
Yeah, and he used to have his own day, but then they took it away and made it President's Day with Washington. All right, you make some good points. All right, appreciate the call. Take care. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
The first thing I'd like to say is these doctors who mutilate these children, I've been saying for a long time, they should have their license revoked, because these guys are doing things that are unacceptable to me, and I think most people, but yet they keep doing it because, like I was just saying to somebody yesterday, people will do anything for money. People are murderers, because they get paid sometimes to be murdered. So these people.
Well, what's happened is a lot of doctors used to do. There's not as much cosmetic surgery as there used to be. Practices. There used to be a lot more. And there's also because things change. Like there used to be a lot of hair transplant doctors. There aren't too many anymore. you know, because the bald look came into fact. So a lot of doctors that are very liberal, right? Abortions dried up, by the way, because there's not as many abortions because of the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Those types of doctors that would do abortions and stuff, they've gotten into what they consider to be a cosmetic business, which is sex change operations, right? And that's it. I mean, the doctors that used to do abortions are now doing this. The type of person, the type of doctor is what I mean.
It's one thing when you're an adult, you know, and I think you're right that the way it used to be, there should be some counseling before you get it, even as an adult. But to do it to a child, and if it was in California or other places, they want to be.
You know, I remember there used to be how things have changed, right? When there used to be controversies, and there were crazy stories of parents who would take their high school daughters to get breast implants. Why would you? And that used to be that. And that, by the way, it's wrong to do that. But the controversy, why would you sexualize your child and get them at that age? What are you getting them breast implants for? So they can hook up more and get more? What are you doing? And that's like old school boring compared to what they're doing now. What they're doing now is insane. And this new thing on Netflix, I showed it to everybody on YouTube during the break. I feel dirty watching it. It is really bad. It is the worst thing I've ever seen so far as this trans thing.
I canceled Netflix a couple of weeks ago because I just never watch it anymore. I just thought it was garbage. So I'm glad everybody's starting to walk away from them. You know, but this is just, you know, the society needs to have a fixing. I mean, President Trump fires 100.
We really need a federal law to outlaw all sex change operations on anyone under the age of 18, at least. Really should be 25 or 30, but 18 on, right, boom, federal law.
100% agree with that, man. That would be great. They should put that on the ballot and get that over with, so even the Congress can't have anything to say about it. Because this is sick. You know, and then the other last thing, I hear Stephanopoulos talking to the Speaker of the House, Megan Johnson, and telling the Speaker of the House what the Democrats want. Meanwhile, he's trying to tell them, no, that's not what the Democrats want. They want to fund medicine for illegals. And Stephanopoulos is saying, oh, no, that's not what it is. He knows better than the Speaker of the House. These people are really...
Yeah, that's true. All right, Doug, I got to run. Take care. You know, this morning, I've been griping about it during the break. I have a splitting headache. I mean, a bad headache. On a scale of 1 to 10, my headache is about a 6 or 7. And it's pretty bad. And until about a little over a week ago, with a headache like this, my wife would be freaking out and thinking I was having a stroke. I'm not kidding. She'd be like, I got to take your blood pressure. You're having a stroke. You know, and because you get to that age. And somebody in my family, they were having headaches and their blood pressure was through the roof. They didn't go to and they did have a stroke, and they're no longer with us because they wouldn't go to the doctor. Well, I went to Life Imaging FLA last week, and I got a full body scan and a heart scan. And I've been telling you about this guy this week. It is amazing. My heart, 54 years old, my heart, 0 plaque, 0 blockage in all my arteries. And by the way, they did the whole body scan. I have no cancers, nothing. I'm in better shape probably than you, Mike. I don't, you know, and well, you know, and I'm in shock. You know, I've been telling you guys about my high cholesterol that I have. It's about 300, and it's been about 300 for almost 30 years. And even with my high cholesterol, I'm a McDonald's guy. I did steak, all that. You know, I'm eating all that stuff you're not supposed to eat when you have high cholesterol. And when I went in there, Scott, you know, from the sales rep, he took me over there to Life Imaging FLA last week, and we were sitting down, and they were explaining to me how the process worked and everything else. And I was so nervous because I thought I was going to have a minimum. I was prepared to easily have 30-40% blockage and have to go to the hospital and get stents. And when I got the scan done, they gave me the results right there. And then I said, you got to explain the whole process over, because I was so worried I didn't really hear. So they had to explain everything over to me again. And I'm going to live a long, long time. But you know, if I would have had blockage or a cancer, they would have determined that too, and I'd be getting treated right now. They would have saved my life. And there are so many people that have had their lives saved. That they had one guy, he was a doctor. He went in there and had the scan, and he had almost full blockage. So they're saving lives over there too. Life Imaging FLA, it's absolutely amazing. They can detect heart disease and some cancers before you even show any symptoms. And when they do the scan, it's an open thing. In fact, I was wearing what I'm wearing right now, actually, the same shirt, and you know, I didn't have to take off my clothes. I didn't have to take off my watch. I didn't have to take off anything. And didn't have to put a hospital gown on or anything else. Didn't have to do any of that. And I am cancer-free. And also, I have the heart of a 20-year-old. I'm amazed. Call Life Imaging FLA for your free heart scan with a few minimum requirements. Valued at $699. Pick up your cell phone and call pound 250 and say free heart scan. That's pound 250 and say free heart scan. You'll be connected in seconds. That's pound 250 and say free heart scan. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Scott on the radio reminding you that your favorite oldies are back on the air right after 10 a.m. this morning, right here on the True Oldies channel.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside, everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road.
Discover a new era of luxury senior living at the Carlisle Palm Beach, the only senior living community in Palm Beach with ocean views. Under new management by Liberty Senior Living, the Carlisle is being beautifully reimagined with resort-style amenities, refreshed apartment homes, and smart living upgrades. Enjoy vibrant wellness through Inspire by Liberty, elevated dining experiences, and a lifestyle designed for connection and ease. Since 1999, the Carlisle has been a trusted name, now with a renewed vision for refined living. Call today or visit
If you're on hold, hang in there, guys.
Hey, Brian Craig here. You hear me talk with attorney Barry Siegel every day about how we can help you and your family. Now here's one of our listeners, Frances, sharing her experience of how attorney Barry Siegel made a difference in her life and took the weight off her shoulders.
I was really looking for something to help me secure my holdings, which is actually not a whole bunch of bank accounts, savings, and a house and a car for my two daughters. I was worried that if I had just a regular will, things would get tied up and probate, and that would take 2 years. So I heard on...
When I come up here to the radio station, I have to bring so much freaking stuff. You have no idea. It's crazy. It takes me about 20 to 30 minutes to get set up before the show when I come here. It's a lot. If you're on hold, stand by. I'm going to go back to the phone. I'm trying to take the calls in the order in which they were received.
So if something does happen to me, things just turn over to them, and it'll make it so much easier for them. And it took a great load off of my mind as to how I would take care of my two daughters. I was very pleased with the attorney Barry Siegel. Finding him helped me assure that my two daughters will be well taken care of in the event that I won't be here.
Give attorney Barry Siegel a call right now. Toll free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Live in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, Harrison Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
Alrighty, if you're on hold, stand by. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 19 77, celebrating 49 years on the radio. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, good morning. This is Richie.
Hey, Richie.
Hey, I hope your headache's getting a little better, man. I know what that's all about. Here's what I want to say to you. This Netflix. What do you pay every month for Netflix?
I don't know. I don't know. My wife. I have my wife handle all the money in that family. I don't like to know.
Okay, here's the deal with Netflix. You're 100% right. That's a grooming network.
It's bad.
NFL, right? There's a grooming NFL right now. There's grooming in the NBA also, National Basketball Association. China owns them. I'm going to bring this into your head now that nobody's paying attention. Netflix, okay, the other day there was the biggest boxing match in the history of boxing. The more people reached, and you know who telecast it? Netflix. See, when you, they're all over the world. It's not just in the United States. They're in homes all over the world, and their price that you pay for a monthly subscription, okay, is so much less than a boxing pay-per-view event. If you had to watch that fight in your home,
oh yeah,
pay for it to be about.
And you know the thing with, and I don't do this too much anymore because I really don't have time to watch. You guys that watch me online, if I'm awake, I'm usually live streaming on YouTube or something. But I don't have time to watch TV too much anymore. But I used to have a VPN, and you could sign into Netflix on your account, like in Asia and Japan, and you could get what they get in Japan or Europe, and it's totally different than what we have here. And I would even have the VPN on my TV in my living room, and I could get what they were getting in Korea, right, South Korea, on Netflix. And it's and the like there was a. And they would have a movie like Battleship Yamato. Anybody remember that cartoon from the 70s? They did a feature film. Couldn't get it here. I got the VPN. I pulled it up on Netflix in Japan. You know, so it's hard. It's a hard thing for people to break away from. But this thing that they're doing now is so dark. It's so dark.
Purpose. Brian, it's on purpose, and this is what I'm leading up to. Netflix is reaching all over the world. For some reason, this transgender thing is being reached. They're trying to push this all over the world, not just in our living rooms. And the NFL right now, you had it in the beginning of the week. You were the first one to mention it, but the backlash, but it's all over. That NFL halftime is about grooming young kids. With that Puerto Rican rapper. He's a transgender.
Yeah. Yes. I mean his anti-ICE stuff is the least of his grievances. You know.
No. Yeah. He's going to come in dresses and everything else. This is a total grooming halftime, and they're spitting in our face. This Netflix is they're business-wise they're smart because they're getting all the sporting events, and then in their programming is going to be all this low life crap that they're putting out there with this transgender garbage. So this is only the beginning. They haven't begun to fight. These people are dead serious.
We used to, you know, we used to talk about a lot of times back in the 90s. We used to talk about the culture war all the time, and most of the things have been lost by the right. And then the new level of things, the things that they're doing now, as crazy as this sounds, you know, back in the days when Pat Robertson was the mover and shaker, he would say, you know, if we allow gays in the military, in the future, they're going to be doing this and that. Well, all those things that he projected that sounded nuts back then are happening now. And most of them have happened already.
You give them an inch, they take a mile. And now, really quick, I want to bring up this other topic about this. First of all, the guy that said Democratic, Socialist, Communist, I think he's right. You should just label it like it is, Communist. President Trump's calling them Communist now. I mean, AOC, first of all, what I'm watching here is the Bernie Sanders dream team with AOC and this guy in New York City. This guy in New York City is going to win. The old elderly Democrats, the old establishment, they're on the way out. Chuck Schumer sees the writing on the wall. He's done. This was the biggest blunder, and he's been pushed by AOC. He went along with it. Now she's going to definitely become senator in New York. New York is going to be a separate state, an island by itself. New York is done. I am telling you, it's going to turn commie, and it's going to turn Muslim.
See, you know, this is what I was talking about. The reason Zohan is winning is everyone's dancing around it. This isn't about his communist socialist ideas and free grocery stores. It's about the Islamification of New York City. And if they take, you know, we've said, well, they can't do to us what they've done to England because we're too big. If they take New York City, which they're about to do, we're done. We're done. It's it. So we're done.
Minnesota, that's the mini New York. Minnesota right now is the mini New York. So you're going to see it in New York, and then people are going to say, well, it's sort of like a tumor that's going to expand. It's a cancer, and the people better be careful and watch everything that's going on here. AOC is a communist, and she's got a big mouth, and she's in the trap.
Well, you know, the thing about Zohan and what's going on here. You know, it's crazy as it sounds. You know, Governor Cuomo's our only hope. If he would get out there and talk straight about if I were Cuomo, if I were Governor Cuomo, what I would do is, and the problem is he's a Democrat, so this goes against the grain. I would go with a professional film crew to London. And I would film a series of commercials and mini documentaries and show what's happened to the Islamification of London. And then and I would flood local news and everything and television with those images in New York City. I would find some 9/11 family members and some firefighter survivors and all of that and talk about 9/11, but they won't do it. They're dancing around with this socialist not bus crap.
Yeah, but I got to tell you something. Cuomo's got enough problems, not just the hospital deal with the COVID. Cuomo was the cash, but the bond, the arresting in New York, cash-free bond. I mean, that was Cuomo. Cuomo pushed that over the whole state of New York. So he's basically he's not an Islamist, but he's a commie himself. I'm telling you, the cash-free bet.
Yeah, but see, but here's our only hope in New York, and we're likely to lose it to this guy. I mean, we're all advocating for Cuomo now. Will the Democrat Party bosses let the Muslims take over the Democrat Party machine? Because this is something that goes back 150 years with these people. And their whole families have it's a lot of money, right? Are they going to hand this over to Zohan and the Muslims, or are they going to stop them?
They can't stop them. You know why they can't stop them? Because I hate to say this, New York City is the welfare city of the United States. They all want free stuff. They are the
first thing I would do is I would do an entire series of London about how this is going to be New York City and with Zohan. But they won't do it because he's a Democrat and he can't get himself to tell the truth. And that would scare the daylights out of people. Richie, I'm late for the break. I got to run. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Okay, now I'm going to show you guys, if you go to my mainstream, if you're in the long stream, go to my mainstream, the link's in the description. I'm going to show you this video of Bernie Sanders with AOC, and he grabs onto her. She looks so uncomfortable. Let me know what you think about this. This is nuts. Look at this. Now watch this. Now they're walking here, and then he's going to put his arm around her, and she is not comfortable.
Hey everybody, I was walking here in Washington D.C. and who did I bump into?
Look at this.
One of my favorite members of the United
She's
States
trying to get away.
Congress,
Look at that.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
And one of my favorite senators.
All right.
Yeah. Does she look uncomfortable there, or what? I mean, she does not like it. I mean, is he being fresh?
Hey everybody, I was walking here in Washington D.C. and who did I bump into? One of my favorite members of the United States Congress.
Look at that.
Alexandria
And one
Ocasio-Cortez.
of my favorite senators.
She's trying to get away.
Anyhow, as everybody knows, we are now in a government shutdown.
Yeah. Yeah, that is...
Anyhow, as everybody knows, we are now in a government shutdown. Yeah. Yeah, that is...
Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... Yeah, that is... She does not look comfortable. What do you guys think? She does not look comfortable. Mm-mm. Yeah. It's creepy, isn't it? Yeah. It does. It doesn't look like she likes it at all. If you're on hold, stand by. There's one opening on the board. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised they released that. I really am. It's pretty bad. It is bad, yeah. But if Cuomo would do what I'm suggesting, things would go much better for them. Mm. We'll be back shortly. No, he's a creep. He is a creep. Oh my goodness. I bet he has bad breath too. What do you think Bernie Sanders smells like? What would Bernie Sanders smell like? What do you guys think? Let me know with you. What do you think Bernie Sanders smells like to AOC there?
Do you suffer from neuropathy?
All right, be back right after this.
Until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642. Tell them Steve Kane sent you.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 49 years on...
All right, there's two openings on the board at 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Mike from Houston.
All right, Mike, what's up?
Hey, about the guy who called in earlier about what was wrong about providing free food and all these other free giveaways, Zohan is promising. From a humanistic perspective, nothing. But economically, I'll tell them what's wrong with it. Someone's got to pay for it. And the person who picks up that tab is going to be the New York City taxpayer, and already overburdened as it is. If you look at the average New York taxpayer pays about 40% to federal, state, and local taxes. And down here in Texas, we don't have a state income tax. We've got mud district taxes of about 4%, but we're taxed nothing.
We don't even have that in Florida. We have no state income tax in Florida. In fact, it's in the Florida state constitution that they can't pass it. And DeSantis is going to rid us of property taxes, and he came out with a way to do that. He's going to have the Airbnbs and the snowbirds pay the property taxes. He said, "I can't wait for him." That'll be a lot. That'll be a lot of. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. But this thing about the taxes in New York. Here's the problem New York has. The people that live in New York that had been paying the taxes in the past have exited New York. Even they don't have that many taxpayers anymore. There's really only a handful of people that are paying this city income taxes to fund everything. and they're just not there anymore. They live in other places, however many days a year they have to live, not to pay that city income tax.
Yeah. I mean, the people aren't stupid. They're not going to, they're going to move somewhere else. They're going to figure out a workaround. But my attitude is this: if you really want to provide free food, housing, medical, free bus rides and metro rides, whatever, instead of burdening someone else, why not open up your own wallet, guy, and lead the way?
Well, but this is what I told you. Told this caller earlier. All these things he's talking about are just shiny keys for these brain-dead liberals in New York. His purpose is to the Islamification of the city of New York. That's his goal. It's not any of this free stuff or buses or grocery stores, and by the way, the stupidity of this bus thing. He says they go 7 miles an hour. Well, there's traffic. So what's he going to do? Rid New York City of traffic, or what do what's he going to do?
He's got to pass the law outlawing traffic. Hey, and help me understand something here. So this new Democratic demand for free health care for everyone in the world who is not an American, okay?
Yeah.
Is that a negotiating point for the continuing?
Well, I'll tell you what's going on. I was watching, I played this on my podcast yesterday, which you guys should be tuning into my podcast. It's on my YouTube channel, all podcast plays. There was a Republican lobbyist was talking about California. California, a huge percentage of their economy is based on getting reimbursed from the federal government for health care coverage for illegals. And they still have millions of illegals out there. So when they show up at the local hospital, which they're required by law to treat them, even for a stuffy nose, they're not going to get reimbursed anymore. The state of California is actually going to have to pay for it themselves. So, so I imagine there's a lot of blue cities, blue states, blue counties that have been getting reimbursed from the federal government, and they have a whole industry in California, the hospitals as well as walk-in clinics, and the state's been getting reimbursed for all their health care with Medicaid payments from the federal government, and they are going to collapse without it, and it's over. So that's where there's a lot of the panic coming from.
It's funny how blue states suddenly become fiscally red when they have to start actually picking up their own tab, and they can't pass that on to the federal government. But either way, what kind of gets me is just the optics on this is so bad for the Democrats. It's like I can't understand why they would get behind something like that, because it's just
Well, you know how it works, okay? Like these shorter injuries I talk about with Dr. Appleton from my skateboard injuries. One of my falls off my skateboard was really bad. I fell. I was live streaming like an idiot while I was skateboarding, and I lost coordination, and I fell forward on the street. And I was going pretty fast, and I went to the emergency room, and I don't have insurance. And they send the bill person over. I said, well, I don't have insurance, and they said, okay, I'm going to send the social worker over. I said, for what? They said, we're going to get you on Medicaid. I said, I'm not going to qualify. But they sent the social worker over. And I said, I'm not going to qualify. And they said, yes, you will. Yes, you will. They asked me 2 questions. They said, okay. So I get a bill, right? And it was a humongous bill. They did everything, right? They did the MRI. They did x-rays. They're running all these tests. The bill was thousands of dollars. I called up, thousands. I called up. I said, I got no insurance. so I had to pay, right? Well, I didn't have to pay $12,000. I paid $1,200, right? But they did like $10,000, $12,000 in tests, and but I only had to pay $1,200. Well, see, with the illegals, when they show up at an ER for a stuffy nose with their kids, the federal government's been reimbursing these blue states like California for this $12,000, $20,000 and all these tests and everything that they don't need. And now the party's over and the state's in a panic because they still have, when they show up in an ER, they've got to treat them. They can't turn them away.
The business model is in jeopardy. That's what it really...
That's correct. And these blue states and cities and counties are going to collapse.
Yeah. And then one last thing I was going to mention, we were talking about the Islamification of New York. This is kind of related, I think. I might not. I don't have all the information yet. But have you heard about that Manchester synagogue attack that went down earlier today?
No.
Apparently, So apparently, there's been some kind of attack at a Manchester synagogue with multiple stabbings. Now, I don't. It's like going down right now. Actually, probably like within the last maybe hour or so. So I was just. But what I'm getting at is, I think you can expect to see more stuff like this happening in places like.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Appreciate the call. All right. Appreciate the call. All right. Let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian?
Yes.
You are right. Ridicule is not for the weak of mind. Remember DeSantis? I heal?
Yes.
But the thing I'm looking about this shutdown, the Republicans have the Democrats right along with the deep state by the neck, and they should finish the job. This talking about, we're going to have a meeting, we're going to vote on it. I mean, look, enough is enough. We did what we're supposed to do. They're out there doing what they're supposed to do. We need to finish it. Be done with it. Did you hear that interview with Hakeem and Tapper?
Yes. Hakeem Jeffries, that video of him in the sombrero has freaked him out, and it's thrown him off. He can't handle it. He can't. And I saw on one interview, I can't remember if this was CNN or MSNBC. It was one of them. They actually showed the video of him in the sombrero and then asked him to comment on it. And it's just, he can't handle it. He's having a breakdown.
Yes, he is. He is. It was so funny. I mean, Tapper was trying to help him. Oh, say this, hint, say this. And he still could not bring himself, to say what it is that...
Yeah.
Discuss the matter that say, okay, the Republicans...
Tapper used to be, before he was famous, he was an ABC correspondent. And he used to be a good guy so far as a reporter. He, in 2008, he was the ABC correspondent covering Senator Barack Obama's presidential campaign. And he asked the same question for about a year. Sometimes it was Obama, sometimes it was his spokesperson. When was the last time the senator smoked a cigarette? Every time. He asked that question every press conference he got called on for like a year. And because Obama is a chain smoker, and he was trying to cover it up because, his clean image, his clean image of health, because healthcare was his big thing and all this stuff. And Jake Tapper was all over him. And then at some point they brought him over to CNN, and he doesn't ask tough questions of Democrats anymore. But he did do a pretty good job on Hakeem Jeffries, because Hakeem Jeffries, I know what he's feeling. I've been in this. He's humiliated, and he's on the air, and he has tunnel vision. He can't hear. He's basically in a state of panic. He's having an anxiety attack, and he's been having it for 3 days, and it's fun to watch. Yeah, it's fun to watch.
I love it.
I do too.
Love it. I'm saying, Republicans, you've got the ball in your court. Go for it.
Yep, that's right. All right, I got to run for a break, but thanks for the call. I was talking in the first hour. You may have noticed if you watch me online, you can see it in my face. I've lost a few more pounds with Coastal Weight Loss Secret, and this is some. I am at the weight now where I was when I was 20 years old. I never thought I'd see this weight again, and I've been at my ideal weight for the last few months. I've been in the maintain phase, but I lost a few more pounds because we're coming up into the Thanksgiving and Christmas season, and that's a time of eating great meals and stuff, right? So I've lost a few more pounds. It's pretty easy to do. You lose just a pound a day. It's so simple, with no shots, no medications, no exercise, eating food you normally eat, so that I could overload it a little bit during the holiday period. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call. All right, come on. No matter where you're located, they can help you lose weight. My results are typical. You can lose 10 to 20% of your body weight in just 60 days. I lost about a pound a day without exercising. I mean, think about it. Now, if I would have, without starving or going hungry, never felt hungry, Now, if I would have exercised, I would have lost a little bit faster, but I thought about a pound a day without any exercise was pretty darn good. So I didn't do any exercise, and I'm glad I didn't, because now that I'm in the maintain phase, because there's no big lifestyle changes, keeping the weight off is easy, and just like that, boom, I lost more weight just because I wanted to. Give Coastal Weight Loss Secret a call. Go see Dr. Zuckerman. Make sure you tell him I said hi, and you can schedule your no-charge free consultation right now, no matter where you're located in the United States. 561-247-6300. 561-247-6300. That's 561-247-6300. Call now. Set up. Start losing weight before you start seeing people for the holidays. All right? And they'll be like, wow, you've lost so much weight. I love hearing that. I hear that all the time. Brian, you really have lost a lot of weight. I look thinner in person. You guys that watch me on YouTube, YouTube adds weight. I'm thinner in person than I look on the screen. You can also find them online at coastalweightlossecret.com. We'll be right back.
Cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Are you a family caregiver of a loved one?
Thomas, Joe, if someone has an old annuity that they got even from somebody else, not you, and they like to turn that annuity into a bonus annuity, can you help them do that?
Sure, and that's the reason bonuses were invented, to give the client an option that if they have lower interest rates right now, we can not only get them a bonus, but we can get them higher interest rates. And now's the time to do it with the Fed lowering rates. Never been a better time. We've got bonuses as high as 10% with a fixed rate as well as out there. And it just depends on what you want to do.
And that means you make 10% on your money right there on the spot immediately.
Up front, just for transferring your old annuity to us.
That's amazing. So if you invest $100,000, you just make 10 grand.
There you go.
Wow. Give Joe Thomas a call right now. It's a no-charge consultation. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online, JupiterJoe.com.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching have all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
Have you put off buying new tires because you thought they were too expensive? Find friendly prices at Friendly Tire in Margate on both new and used tires. New tires as low as $70 a tire. That's out the door and on the road, because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire or mount the tire. They have thousands of used tires in stock too, starting at just $30. Call for a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on.
All right. Callers on hold, stand by. Our number 888-465-2631. I'm attempting to take the calls in the order in which they were received. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Yeah, it's Renee from Harlem.
Oh, hey, Renee.
Hey, so I noticed you guys are going into this Christian evangelism, trying to rally around Charlie Kirk, and you're tying that into your replacement theory paranoia. And it occurred to me that you people are violent, and that's the reason why you got to lose.
Who's violent?
You.
Me? What have you ever seen me do violence?
You have been violent ever since this country started. Are you crazy? The violent people on the planet. And you're violent, and you're scared. So you have to go.
Yeah.
Be replaced. and you tie it into Christianity, which is really
So when you all replace us, how are you going to replace anyone? Because you were on hold for over 38 minutes, so you don't really do too much. So you're going to replace someone who like actually works and produces and keeps the country going. 38 minutes you were on hold, over 38 minutes. So you don't, replaced by what? Losers who sit around for almost an hour with nothing to do in the morning?
You know what? I can solve that problem. I don't call you.
Oh, you promise?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Wow. What did he think I was going to do? Beg him not to do that? Oh, my goodness. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning. It's Trucker Ricochet. How you doing, sir?
All right.
Man, I tell you, Renee, I just talk about violent ones. I don't know. I wanted to call. I tell you, watching Trump is something that is so amazing. It's almost like Elon has given him a time machine that he can jump forward in time, see what everybody's reaction is, and then come back and take care of it. And because he's always so far ahead of everything and knows exactly what's going on, I laugh because the brilliance of what he does just amazes me. Like with this shutdown and everything that he's doing with the firing of the people. But I also wanted to say something too, like Soy Boy, for example, the new Soy Boy from Michigan, I guess.
The Detroit Soy Boy, yeah.
Yeah, Detroit Soy Boy. They always bring up the soybean thing. And, Trump even said when the tariffs start, there's going to be some hiccups. What we lose in the soybeans and what we may lose in other things are constantly made up greater than in other areas. And once everything gets balanced out, then we'll start seeing things, kind of start having a level playing field and being a lot better. So we always knew that there's going to be this upheaval. Some things are going to be a little more expensive. Some things are going to be a little cheaper. But we got to get through the process. And once we do, the returns and everything is going to be so much better. They're not giving it any comp.
I went to Publix the other day, and I noticed 6-pack Mick Ultra is like about $2.50, $3 less than it was a year ago for a 6-pack of Michelob Ultra.
Being a truck driver, my biggest place is I got to stop at Walmart or have it delivered to me at the truck stop or whatnot. And I buy like the 2-pound things of lunch meat. They used to be like $9 for a package. Now it's down to like $7.80 a package.
Wow.
And I've seen other things kind of go up a little bit, some things up a little bit more. But, I mean, overall, it's still kind of balancing out. But just got to give it some time. The tariffs thing, we've always ran on tariffs before, this whole corrupt...
Well, and I'll tell you another thing, okay? They complain that prices haven't come down enough. I'll tell you one thing President Trump has done that I don't think anybody can disagree with is he stopped the bleeding of inflation. The inflation's been stopped. We don't have prices going up every day like we used to.
Exactly. Being in the industry I'm in, I see it at all the different warehouses and whatnot, but it's just, again, just watching that these people need to give it some time. When Trump went over his first term and met the Queen before she died, he got rid of the corporate bond that we had in England and got rid of the USA Incorporation. Now starting to bring back America the Republic, and there's always going to be some transitional hiccups and things here and there. They got to give it some time, man. They don't know the history of how we've been ran and who's really been running us. I mean, we've been tied to England for all these years when King George created the incorporation of the United States. So
correct.
There's always going to be these hiccups and whatnot when we're transitioning back to the way it needs to wait. So watching Trump is brilliant. I love it. I love the winning. I'm never getting sick of it. Brian.
All right. Appreciate the call. All right. The truck driver. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes.
It's me?
Yeah, it's you.
Okay. Well, I just have a few things to talk about, especially the last few callers. Well, I'd say the last second caller, I kind of agree with, and you kind of pushed him off a little bit by kind of saying that he stayed there 30 minutes longer.
38. He was on hold over 38 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, but to be fair, the person right after him, who was on your side, who was kind of on your side a little bit, also waited that long. Well, let's be fair a little bit. Why would you break his argument by simply making something like that type of argument, which makes
because he's got this thing. Because his thing is, he is going to replace. His thing is he's going to replace white people, and I'm like, how is he going to replace working people when he doesn't work? Who's he? Who?
You literally just said white people. He never said replace white people. He said you hate, because let's be honest.
That's what he meant. I've talked to him many times. He meant white people.
Okay, true. Fine. Whether or not, he is right. You people are hateful. You literally just said New York is going through the Islamification.
That's correct.
Of New York. That is completely false. What Islamification is going on in New York? Because somebody...
It's not going on yet. Zohan Mamdani is a hardcore religious Muslim. What do you mean? He just got married. He got married 3 times to the same woman. They had 3 ceremonies. He got married in New York. Then he went. She's from Dubai. So then they go to Dubai. She's from a rich Muslim family. They got married in Dubai. And then they went to Zimbabwe, where he's from, at his mansion over there. He got married again. Those were Muslim weddings. He's a religious Muslim.
Pause here. Let's pause here a little bit. You're going to blame a man for wanting to marry the person he loves. Wanting to have a celebration at their homes with their family, for the wife's family, marriage there, and for his family, a marriage there. That's his life. If he wants to have 3 marriages,
hold on a second. This man. Think about. Okay. You don't understand. Okay. This man of the people who wants to have free everything, democratic socialist. He got married on. He was married. He had 3 weddings to the same person on 3 different continents. That doesn't sound like a man of the people to me.
That doesn't make you not a man of the people. Here's what made him a man of the people. When he's asked in front of other people, in front of the world, running for a position in New York, what will you do? The first thing you will do for New York, for America, he was the only person that stood up and said, I will stay here and work on America, while everybody else simply said, I will go help Israel. Now, I'm sorry. If I'm being asked about my country and what I'll do for my country, the answer...
Okay. Yeah. Listen. This is... We're almost out of time for the hour, okay? And I want to say that... all right, this is the thing with Zohan. He refuses to condemn, he's been asked many times, to condemn the global intifada. 9/11... oh, I'm not done. Excuse me. 9/11. Excuse me. 9/11 was part of the global. 9/11 was part of the global intifada. So he will not condemn 9/11. How can you be the mayor of New York when you won't condemn 9/11?
He did.
No, he did not. No, he did not.
I don't want him to.
No, he did not. No, he did not.
Sir, what you're doing right now is using fear to paint a man in a bad...
Well, people should be afraid of him. You should be afraid of him.
Sir, the fear you're using is something that happened 25 years ago when he was never there, when he was never a part of nothing like that to begin with. What you're doing is you're using a fear tactic, and people who use fear...
No, you should be afraid. No. You should be afraid of Zohan. Do you condemn... Do you condemn 9/11? Do you condemn 9/11?
No, I wasn't.
No, okay, no, he doesn't condemn 9/11. There you go. All right, 2 hours down, 1 to go. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show, back after this. He won't condemn 9/11, that caller. Unbelievable.
True Oldies channel. Now, here's the True Oldies weather forecast.
Today, heavy rain and breezy with a high of 82 degrees. Into the evening, showers likely and windy with a low of 77 degrees. On Friday, showers likely and windy with a high of 80 degrees. And into the evening on Friday, showers likely and windy with a low of 77 degrees.
And now, a true oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
On the Turnpike northbound, watch for a backup at Lake Worth Road. On Tamron Avenue, there's a crash at 15th Street. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line. Pound 250.
Oh, man, oh, man. All right, let me
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel
cue
Club.
some stuff up.
Wicked winnings are brewing in the poker room at PBKC. High hands hit every 15 minutes, every day from 9 a.m. to midnight. And don't miss the $100,000 progressive weekends. Take your shot in thrilling daily tournaments and enjoy Vegas-style table games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em and 3-card poker with just a $5 minimum all day, every day. It's non-stop poker action at PBKC. Get all the details at pbkennelclub.com.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom Laporta and proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I've brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at laportaroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602.
Hey, Brian Craig here. You hear me talk with Attorney Barry Siegel every day about how we can help you and your family. Now here's one of our listeners, Frances, sharing her experience of how Attorney Barry Siegel made a difference in her life and took a weight off her shoulders.
I was really looking for something to help me secure my holdings, which is actually not a whole bunch. It was bank accounts, savings, and a house, and a car for my 2 daughters. I was worried that if I had just a regular will, things would get tied up and probate, and that would take 2 years. So I deferred
Oh, boy. The caller would not condemn 9/11. That's something I never thought I would ever hear. That is nuts.
I went over there and they sat with me and we went over everything, and I ended up with this wonderful trust for my 2 daughters. So if something does happen to me, things just turn over to them and it'll make it so much easier for them, and it took a great load off of my mind as to how I would take care of my 2 daughters. I was very pleased with the attorney Barry Siegel. Finding him helped me ensure that my 2 daughters will be well taken care of in the event that I won't be here.
Give Attorney Barry Siegel a call right now. Toll free 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782. And online, SiegelLawGroup.com.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve King Show with Brian Craig.
All righty. That last caller before the top, he wouldn't condemn 9/11? I mean, my goodness, how far have we gone? All right, let's, I got a lot to cover, but let me take some more calls before I bring up anything new. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. It's Greg.
Hey, Greg. What's up?
Listen, let's have an adult conversation. You know, and you're very disingenuous to your audience on several fronts. One, you wear like a badge of honor that you don't have health insurance, correct? You think it's like an amazing feat.
No, I don't have health insurance, not because I could buy it, but it would cost, it cost too much money. I'd have to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars between the monthly premiums and the deductible, 10 to 12. No, over the course of a year, I would have to spend $10,000 to $12,000 to have a meaningful policy, by the way. Okay, I could get a policy in name only that's not really insurance, but $10,000 to $12,000 a year to get an affordable policy, I'd have to pay that much money over the course of a year before I could get it to pay for anything.
You pay for your car payments probably in a total at the end of the year, your car payments. So you think paying car payments is more important than having health insurance. And by the way, your wife, we know for a fact. Let me ask you a question. Does anyone have government benefits that you are close to?
Now, didn't I tell you guys at the beginning of the show today, you know, with liberals, that liberals call in and they don't talk about what I'm talking about and want to ask questions? I'm not here to be interviewed by you.
To what you're not even talking about your PowerPoints today about Trump bragging about firing federal workers. You think you haven't even discussed it. You've been all over the topic. You've been on your health insurance. You've been a soy boy. You've been to Detroit. By the way, Detroit's had a renaissance, so you're dead wrong on that once again. But so what is the topic du jour today? I haven't figured out on your show. What is it?
Well, then if remember I told you guys in the first hour when liberals call, they don't say anything. They don't comment on what we're talking about. They just ask me questions. What do you think you're doing? Make a statement about something I've discussed today, and we'll talk about it.
I did. I talked about your health insurance and the fact.
No, you're interviewing. You're trying to interview me. You just asked me a bunch of bizarre questions.
It's completely irresponsible when you have the financial wherewithal not to carry health insurance. For example, if you needed a surgery from one of your, and skateboarding at your age is irresponsible as well. We know that. You finally stopped. You reached your senses. But do you know if you were to get a surgery, let's say it cost you $40,000 to $50,000, $60,000, you're going to have to pay that?
Well, now, courtesy of our new sponsor, I am so healthy. I have the heart of a 20-year-old, no plaque, no buildup, nothing, no blockage, no cancer. Sorry, guys, no cancers.
But let's get to the topic.
Well, why should I spend thousands and thousands of dollars a year for health insurance I don't need before I get one penny of coverage? That's crazy.
No, it's not. By the way, you should go see a doctor. I'll tell you what, you're totally irresponsible. Right. You don't even have a.
You don't know what I have. When I go to the doctor, now first off, we've got great sponsors, so that helps a lot. But when I go to the doctor, I pay. None of your business.
You don't want to have a real dialogue.
No, I'm not here to be interviewed by you.
Listen, I'll tell you right now, it's irresponsible also to claim to fame is families are going to be suffering due to this government shutdown. Their paychecks could be cut, their jobs could be eliminated. You don't care about that. I actually have some sympathy for, let's say, a single mother or even a family of four in today's, economic environment being laid off because of this government.
Well, then, Greg, what you can do is, you can post up on Facebook or something. Anyone who is not going to get paid this week because of the government shutdown can come over to your house and eat over the weekend.
You said 156. Listen, you know what? Oh, now
you can limit it. I mean, you can. No, put a Facebook ad out there. If you are not getting paid because of the Democrat government shutdown, the Schumer shutdown, message me here on Facebook. You and your family can come over and eat my food this weekend.
I'll tell you what, under one condition, you join us.
Why does there need to be a condition? I thought you were concerned about all these people. Where's your heart?
You know what? You're such
a phony. I mean, here you are. You've come up with a retarded statement. Did you learn that one in law school? You put yourself up on this pedestal of this liberal with a heart, and you've come up with a condition so that you don't have to help these poor people that you claim to care about.
I'll tell you what, one difference between you and I, first of all, you're a hypocrite completely. Number two, I've never voted for a Democrat in my life. You can't say the same thing.
So you said that you felt sorry for these people that aren't going to get paid. Yeah, sure. You're concerned. You've got a heart. Why will you not let these poor people that are not going to get their government benefits or get paid because of the Schumer shutdown come over to your house and have dinner Saturday, Sunday?
Saturday, Sunday, why not?
Well, if every social justice warrior did what you did, you could wipe out hunger during this Schumer shutdown.
Listen, how about you help someone out as well? That may be fight.
I had to pay taxes last week. I'm helping plenty.
And guess what? We all have to pay tax.
No, not everybody pays taxes. Not everybody pays taxes.
Tell me a working person that's, let's say, earning over 40 grand doesn't pay taxes. And what's the other? You pay taxes when you fill up your car with gas, Brian. You pay taxes when you no. Is that true? Do you pay taxes?
See, you were. This is so interesting. You're like Hakeem Jeffries triggered because you are refusing to help these poor, hungry people that you called in griping about, and now you're like a hysterical, anxiety-suffering Hakeem Jeffries. You feel like him with the sombrero on.
No.
You're saying this is not the way you normally talk.
No, this Catholic Christianity that you portray yourself to be, that you didn't go to church for 7 years, you don't even remember your last time when you went to a Christian, it's a hypocrite. You decide all of a sudden, I have to go back to church because of Charlie Kirk. Where have you been? Where's your Christian mentality? You attack.
See, I mean, I hope, Greg, I hope you go back and listen to this call and pay very careful attention to your tone of voice, your hysterics, and the words that are coming out of your mouth. This is not your normal call. You feel like a dope because you're a lying hypocrite. You won't. Why will you not? What am I?
Oh, well, how about this? First of all, you're a Christian hypocrite.
Ooh, yes, I'm a Christian. Yes.
How do you let me finish the sentence, and I'll hear your response. I don't know how you, and this is a statement, not a question, how you reconcile your Christian/Catholic principles and attacking people, calling them all sorts of names. How does one reconcile that? Charlie Kirk, you know what difference between you and Charlie Kirk? This is a statement. He never attacked those people personally. He just had a dialogue. You attack.
Mm-hmm. No, people call me. I don't call you guys. You guys call me. And you know what I'm all about before you call. But I'm curious why, you're a big fancy lawyer. These people that are not getting paid because of the Schumer shutdown, why will you not let them come to your house this weekend and eat your food?
You think I'm going to go on Facebook and all of a sudden strangers, I'm going to have to show who they are, do a background check? I mean, are you kidding me? You wouldn't invite anybody into your house either. But you know what?
Well, I'm not putting myself up on some pedestal as a better person with a heart.
I didn't put myself on a pedestal. Those are your words, not mine. What I'm saying is you won't address this one point because you're scared. How do you reconcile? Charlie Kirk never attacked people and called.
See, did you hear that? How he just said that because you're scared? I'm surprised how fragile your ego is. You have the most fragile ego. You and I have talked many times over the years. I've never heard you like a hysterical, embarrassed little girl before like this.
You're being the little girl because I asked you a simple question and then you...
See her voice? I asked you a simple question. Your whole voice and speech patterns have changed?
Tell me, how has my speech pattern changed?
Go back and listen to the call. Listen to the call. This is not the way you normally speak.
But what I'm saying is...
So you're going to go on the record that if you're not getting... Oh, no, by the way... Are you going on the record that if somebody is listening who's not getting paid because of the government shutdown, you will not allow them to come to your home and eat?
Brian, just answer the one question. You won't do it.
I'm not here to answer your questions.
But what are you here to? Just like...
I'm not here to do interviews. All right, take care. If you're hungry, don't call Greg too. He's not going to feed you. You have to suffer. But he's a better person than we MAGA people are. All right. I've lost track of where I'm at. Oh, let me talk about Dr. Philip Appleton and his laser away pain treatment. You know, you guys have heard me talk a lot about all the different pains that the laser treatment can rid you of, every pain I've ever heard of. And this week I've been talking more about how the laser works because Dr. Appleton doesn't just have a laser, he has a robotic laser. And what the robotic laser does is it treats the whole area. And I was talking about my shoulder yesterday, I'll talk about my knee today. As an example, with my knee pain that I was suffering from for 30 years from a car accident, right? Because it's a robotic laser, it's not just treating one spot on the knee. During the treatment, which by the way is not only completely painless, you don't even feel it, The laser is moving around my entire knee. So the top, the side, the bottom, the other side, back to the top, the whole knee all the way around. And that's true with everything. Same thing with my arthritis and the hand. The laser is moved by the robotic laser around the entire area, and it treats the entire area. And what the laser does is actually repair the damage that is causing the pain. That's why when he's rid me of pain, it's never returned, with no surgery, no shots, no drugs, nothing. And the pain hasn't returned because the laser actually repairs the damage that's caused the pain. Give Dr. Appleton a call. Remember, it's a free consultation. Go see Dr. Appleton. Take advantage of that no-charge free consultation, and he'll tell you, you'll be blown away. It's amazing. He's rid me of pain 7 times. If you have surgery scheduled, go see Dr. Appleton before you have that surgery, all right? 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. If you're on hold, stand by. Back after this.
Scott on the radio reminding you that your favorite oldies are back on the air right after 10 a.m. this morning, right here on the True Oldies channel.
Hello, this is Greg from Friendly Tire.
Oh, man.
Business 30 years at the same location and offering great deals on new and used.
Very good call from Greg.
We have many suppliers. Whatever car or truck you have, I can get you incredible deals on any tire. I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977-9445. Thank you.
This is Steve Kane. Medicare can be confusing. That's why each year at this time, we call Debbie and I will advisors to guide us through every plan, every choice, and every call. Open enrollment is coming up really soon. Some plans are being canceled. Others pulling out of the Medicare market at the end of 2025. Call Debbie. She represents all the major national companies. The number 954-753-8080. That's 954-753-8080.
Yeah, could you guys tell the difference in his speech patterns? I could. It was a big difference. His whole tone changed. I mean, that was not his normal way.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Richie. Dr. Gupta. I go 130.
If you're on hold, hang in there. I still have this splitting headache.
Listen to Richie the Bus Driver. Go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. 954-922-4633.
Yeah, not just me.
954-922-4633.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM. The Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM. Hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM. Lauderdale on 96.9 FM. And anywhere in the world.
All righty, we're back. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes. Yes, Ivan. What's on your mind?
Honestly, I just saw this show on YouTube and I thought there's no way I, of all people, would be picked up, but...
Well, here you are.
What?
I said, here you are.
All right. Well, first things first, a shit ton of jobs in...
Oh, my goodness. Oh, boy. He couldn't get 3 words together. He was gonna give me a liberal treatise on the economy. He was getting ready to gripe about the economy. Probably can't find a job. I can't understand why. If you're on hold, hang in there while I wait for the delay to build back up. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. There was one time a few years ago where the delay was broken, and we went like 2 or 3 weeks without a delay. We didn't tell anybody till it was fixed. But But we didn't have to use it. I was surprised. It was I don't know what happened, you know. I remember one time Steve and I, this was at the radio studio in Boca. Steve and I were guesting on someone else's show at night on the weekend. And Al Knight, the weekend guy here on True Oldies, he was the board op. And we went to the phones. First call, he had to hit it. Al didn't even know where the dump button was in the studio because they hadn't used it on any of the other shows. Oh my goodness. You know, did you guys catch JD Vance yesterday at the press conference? JD Vance came in unannounced and took over the White House press briefing, and he did a really good job. I mean, it was very cool. And then he took questions from the fake news media, and one of the reporters asked him about that sombrero video of Hakeem Jeffries. Let me pull this up. Hold on. Is this? Yeah, here it is. Listen.
Thank you, Mr. Vice.
Okay, hold on. I got to pull it up here. Hold on. Mr. Vice President, he says. Okay.
President, just going back to the sombrero, you said that the president's joking, but...
Oh, I hit the wrong pot mic on the board. That's the problem. Okay, let me rewind it again. Okay, all right. Here we go.
Mr. Vice President, just going back to the sombrero, you said that the president's joking, but Hakeem Jeffries says that these memes were racist. What's your response to that? And just if I may briefly go off topic.
Okay, I love it. These liberal English people, they think their liberal crap sounds more intelligent with a proper British accent. It sounds even more ignorant, doesn't it? But anyway, let me rewind it. Here we go.
Mr. Vice President, just going back to the sombrero, you said that the president's joking, but Hakeem Jeffries says that these memes were racist. What's your response to that? And just if I may briefly go off topic, Secretary Hegseth yesterday made an edict about no more beardos in the military. Just wondered what...
Sorry, what did he say?
No more beardos. Beards. Oh, sorry, it's my accent. Just wondered your response to that.
I didn't see that particular comment. I thought Pete gave a hell of a speech, and a speech that really is just oriented around returning the American military to the very high standards that it has had for virtually its entire history until Joe Biden came along and decided to lower standards. I think it was bad for our military, and it was bad for our troops. When I was a young United States Marine, I did not have a beard. I am now the vice president, so I get to do what I want to do. But I think Pete's trying to re-implement high standards, and that's a very good thing. On the sombrero thing, I mean, Hakeem Jeffries said it was racist, and I know that he said that, and I honestly don't even know what that means. Like, is he a Mexican American? Is offended by having a sombrero meme? I mean, I saw one of the major TV stations put the meme up and then say this is AI generated, and he had like the curly animated mustache too. It's like, do you really not realize the American people recognize that he did not actually come to the White House wearing a sombrero and a black curly animation mustache? Like, give the country a little bit of credit. We're all trying to do a very important job for the American people. The President of the United States likes to have a little bit of fun when he's doing it, and I think that's okay. I'll take one more question.
Okay, now I just want to say that this was amazing. And, what J.D. Vance is saying is that the media think that the American people are so stupid that they have to put this as an AI-generated image with the sombrero on Hakeem Jeffries with the funny mustache. And that I didn't even think about that. I didn't pick up on that myself, but he did because he's very smart, J.D. Vance. And that's how dumb the media think people are, right? Especially the liberal audience that's watching that garbage. But what he said was, how could it be racist? Hakeem Jeffries, Mexican-American, what is this all about? And then what he said about the beard was very funny, too, and smart. And, this has been the week of winning for the Trump administration. It's just been a complete week of total winning. And, what's going on here with J.D. Vance, yesterday I was talking about the Pete Hegseth speech the day before, and I had said several times on yesterday's show that if I had to choose between J.D. and Pete Hegseth, after this I'm going to have to pick Pete Hegseth to be the second MAGA president. Well, I'm going to have to take that back. J.D. Vance did such a great job. I mean, I was blown away by J.D. Vance yesterday in that press briefing. I mean, the only problem we have in the MAGA movement is that we have too many great people that are so good. I've never seen him quite like that, and he took a lot of questions from the press yesterday, and he hit a home run every single time. And I'm wondering if President Trump sent JD out there yesterday to do that because Pete Hegseth had such a good day and he wanted people to see how great JD is. I don't know. But JD Vance knocked it out of the park yesterday. And if you missed that press conference, you missed a lot. It was incredible. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
JJ from Mass.
Oh, hey, JJ. I'm not going to have to use the dump button on you, I don't think.
No, you're not. That was a interesting call there, but the shortness of it was good, I guess, getting rid of that guy. But listen, with Greg just a little earlier here.
Oh.
I just listen, Greg, we all fall short. Brian, myself, everybody, and obviously you today fell a little short. That was a little disturbing. But listen, you can.
Wait, not me. You mean Greg fell? You said Greg fell short. Okay, now and it was disturbing. You found Greg's call disturbing.
I just found I did. The judgment was hurting my ears as it came.
Well, what happened was he embarrassed himself, and then he kept trying to embarrass me.
It wasn't I've heard much better from him, but I guess maybe it was a good call in the sense that it was a little crazy, maybe. I don't know, but look, one of the reasons I wanted to, that kind of came up. I've been thinking about some of the calls earlier in the week and some of the stuff that was brought up today, like tariffs. Do you remember that commercial, Brian? Pay me now or pay me later. Oil changes and the blown engine and, guys trying to sell oil filters or whatever. And, basically you pay me now or you get the blown engine. And Donald Trump, basically what he's doing with these tariffs is those are the tools to, we're paying now. We're not going to pay later. If we pay later.
Well, first off, JJ, these liberal callers with the tariff, when have you ever heard Democrats talk about how a tax is passed on to the consumer? We've been telling that for years. Now, all of a sudden, taxes are bad, are going to be passed on to, if tariffs, import taxes, if those taxes are passed on to consumers, why aren't all these other taxes that they're always advocating? And let me tell you, last week, because I'm self-employed, I got to pay not just income taxes and payroll taxes, I got to pay quarterly taxes. And when the accountant calls, you got to come up with the money, and it's a lot of money, and it sucks, and it goes into the ether. Come on, all taxes suck, but Democrats all of a sudden are making a Ronald Reagan-like argument against taxation.
Look, you mentioned pie charts to some of these guys, and they'll say, "I'll have a slice. Give me some vanilla ice cream with," or something like that. But the callers that listen, the people that call in that say that you're lying to your listeners. I'm one of the damn listeners of this show, and you haven't been lying to me. Food prices have gone down for me. Eggs, bread, the rotisserie chickens, everything is down except. But I will say this. Mark from New York, who's a little,
yes.
There was Doug talking about food and saying you were lying, and then Mark called in. You got one person talking about it. Everybody called in and started. Here's the thing: meat prices are up, and in a way, that's a sign of a really good economy because the demand is up. But the reason that those prices are up more than they should be goes back to Biden. Goes back to the horrible economy, the disaster under Biden, which led a lot of the cattlemen out.
Well, listen, I got to take the break. I got to take the break. Here's the deal, okay? The grocery prices, a lot of items have dropped a couple dollars here and there. Some things like the meats may have gone up, but prices, I believe, at least on what I buy overall, are down. And Trump has stopped the inflation. Okay, so the prices aren't going up like they were, and it was a pretty scary time. All right, I gotta run for the break. If you're on hold, hang in there. We're gonna take our break for the bottom of the hour and be right back.
It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up?
How much? Did you have anything in particular you wanted to?
Yeah, your health insurance. No, I'm just kidding.
Are you kidding?
it's.
You know how much gold I could buy for what the health insurance would cost me?
Brian, I guarantee that guy probably canceled his home insurance. because
Yeah,
he doesn't want to
exactly.
take home insurance. I was thinking the whole time, so I wish I was on the show. Right
I'm
now.
self-insured with the health, and I'm in great health. So
Yeah,
why, you know, what the hell?
Listen, I've done it for years.
Oh, you're the same thing. Yeah, it's stupid. I can do so much more with that money.
I just had a big. What I did was I took a policy with a large deductible because
Yeah.
healthcare doesn't want to pay you much anyway. You know?
No. Well, we've got great sponsors on the radio station that take good care of me. We got a lab, we got doctors, we got, you know, I'm not your average person when it comes out, but still, you know how much it costs for guys our age to buy?
I'm paying $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
I mean, I have Medicare and I'm still paying.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Let me see here. Okay.
So you're starving after the show?
No, well, not today actually, but we can. You still wanted to talk after?
Yeah, man,
Okay, well everybody can hear you, so don't.
Oh, yeah, we'll see. I'll wait until you come out.
Don't you hate it when you buy something online and then you get slapped with a huge shipping charge at checkout? Not at MyPillow.
No, was there something you wanted to touch on?
No, I just thought we talk about, you know, retirement, you know. Nothing major.
Okay.
Anything. Same topic.
Okay.
All good.
Unbeatable deals on everything.
It's always the same topic. I mean, you know,
Yep.
money's money, you know.
Mike, do you know which live spots I've done and haven't done this hour? I've lost track.
Order now at mypillow.com.
I did.
And use the promo code KANE,
Did,
for free.
did you happen to notice which live spots I've done? I did Dr. Appleton. Did I talk about coastal weight loss this hour? Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I did him. Okay. So I got to do that one. And then Sloman's.
754-222-6642.
How's Steve doing?
He's doing good. Doing good.
You see him much?
I'm going to see him tomorrow, actually.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
He lives in Cooper City, so it's so far.
Where's it? Down? That's Miami? Below?
It's almost. It might as well be. It's. I don't know if you know Sheridan Street and.
No.
It's way.
Way down, huh?
Oh my gosh.
I used to, when I was a kid, I was raised in Miami as a kid, so I know a little bit of it. But that's years and years ago. We're off Miracle Mile in some little shack.
Oh yeah.
My dad ran bulldozers back in the.
Steve grew up in Miami Beach.
Oh really?
Yeah, he went to a segregated school down there.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's a long time ago.
Was that in the '60s?
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right, we're back, and Jupiter Joe Thomas is in the studio. Hey Joe, how you doing? How you doing? Okay, you know, got some bad news for you. The Trump Presidential Museum's not going to be in Jupiter. It's going to be in Miami.
Oh man.
They just announced this. I was, you know, well, you know.
I don't know where they would have put it anyway.
I don't know, but but it's going to be in Miami by Bayside.
Wow.
So, you know.
I got to drive all the way down there, huh?
Well, I checked. The Bright Line is 0.4 miles away from where the museum's going to be.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I was going to take the Bright Line down there. Anyway, you know, what I wanted to talk to you about is, you know, I don't care what someone's financial situation is. The time in people's life when they're retired, when finances, I don't care who it is, unless they're, you know, like Donald Trump rich, when there's financial issues is when there's a health problem with the husband or the wife.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when things go down the tubes.
Yeah. I mean, people worry about running out of money. They should worry about getting sick when you get older. That's the worst thing in the world because now your money's going to go. I mean, the average person can go, if you go into a nursing home or need assisted living, you can go through your money in 2 or 3 years and end up broke. And I know clients that has happened.
Absolutely.
To. Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of things. You know, sometimes you might have to put in one of those showers.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And these are things. And you have this income doubler with health issues, annuity. Can you talk about that a little bit? This blew me away.
I mean, so if you have an annuity with us and it turns into an income stream, let's say you're getting $2,000 a month from us or $3,000 a month. Well, I'll give you an example. I had a lady that came in recently and she put a lot of money in and her income's going to be $90,000 a year for the rest of her life.
Oh my goodness.
90 grand.
That's awesome.
And if she gets sick and she can't perform 2 of her daily activities, either nursing home or home health care, she gets $180,000 a year for 5 years. The average stay in a nursing home is 2.6 years.
Yeah.
I mean, this is staggering numbers. This is what people need to consider. Not only running out of money, but getting sick and running out of money quickly because you got sick. And then if you do get better, what do you come back to? You know, all your money's gone.
Yeah, I knew somebody, a friend of mine, their wife got sick and they're in a wheelchair. They had to change all the doorways in the house.
Yeah.
I mean, that's expensive. You know, there's all these things that come up.
Yeah, what about if your mental capacity diminishes? Now you've got a real issue because sometimes the people, I've had this problem with clients. I've met clients and I think they're fine, but realistically they're not. And then their daughter comes in a month later, 2 months, says, hey, my dad or my mom has this issue. And I've met many clients like that over the years. And you know what? They really need help. And how do you get that help? If you don't have a daughter or a son to help you or a family member, it's tough. So anyway, getting back to the money angle of it, these annuities, you know, it's an insurance company, right? They're insuring your risk for your money, and they're insuring your risk if you get sick. So it's a pretty good deal. And by the way, you don't need health insurance, and you don't need to be qualified to buy it.
Now the thing with the income double, because most people, the annuity is in the husband and the wife. So if one of them gets sick, it goes into effect.
Yeah, and guess what? You get income for life for both people. So if your spouse passes away, they continue to get income. And then if you get sick, it also covers either spouse.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insurance with insurance combination, and the lifetime guarantee is income forever. Now, the only thing that does it that I know of is either a pension plan, if you're lucky enough to work for a big company, or a state agency. Okay, so I mean, it's a win-win all the way.
But you know what, though? A lot of guys I know with pensions, I ask people, "What's your pension?" Right? I'm shocked at how little pensions are.
Sometimes they are, Brian.
This is not the 50s anymore.
No. It's changed a lot. The insurance companies used to do these pensions, and then what happened was the big companies that people work for decided they're too expensive, and they did away with it.
Yeah, that's
Except
right.
the government. The government has the best pensions in the world. Let me tell you. Know?
Yeah, but you know, but even if you got a pension, you still need more money. It's not.
Absolutely.
It's not. You're not making what you were making when you were working.
No, and you know, you need Social Security. You need a pension plan if you have one, and you need an annuity to give you the income that you don't have.
Yeah, so basically, you know, with the annuity, of course, your money's never at risk. You're not going to lose any money no matter what happens in the markets, but you're guaranteed an income stream for the rest of your life. And, you know, I'd asked you once, you know, when you have a high net worth earner, or you have, like you were telling me about one of your clients retired from Publix, right?
Yeah.
You know, and what's the difference between the woman retiring in Publix and a high net worth earner? What do they want? You said it's the same thing. They want income.
Generally speaking, most people want income. Listen, I have a doctor right now, retired doctor, lives in a very prestigious country club. He came in, he's making a lot of money. He's worth about $6-7 million in assets. You know, he said to me, "I need income. I don't have enough income to pay all my dues, all my fees." You know,
dinner.
No matter what level you're at, you need income. It's the same equation.
And you know, when you'd be surprised when people are retired, they do a lot more things because they got more time on their hands, and it takes money. And it takes money.
You want to see the grandkids. Now these annuities enable you to do that because you get mailbox money every month. That check's going to be direct deposited into your account.
Well, listen, give Joe Thomas a call. It's a no-charge consultation, and Joe put together a custom proposal for you based on your situation and your goals. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online, jupiterjoe.com. All right, Joe, we'll talk soon.
Thank you.
All right. If you're on hold, hang in there. We'll go back to our phones. And some of the callers today are, you know, a little strange, but that's okay. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi there.
Yes. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I'm not going to give my name because I don't want to be abused, but have you heard there's Netflix news about your Netflix account?
Well, I was talking about it earlier in the show, and I was telling people that I was going to have my wife cancel the Netflix today.
Okay, then I'm not going to give you any grief because finally you've seen the light and that.
Why do you think I'd give you a hard time if you gave your name? Why do I know you?
Pretend I used to know you, but I don't.
How did you know me? How did you know me?
I don't want to be known by you.
How did you know me?
It's going to give me flashbacks.
No, tell me. You said you claim to have known me in the past. How did we know each other?
Oh, Jesus. Okay, from the Copa, you brought it up.
Please, why would it be slanderous? Oh, so you? Oh, I get it. The Copa was a gay bar. Used to be in Fort Lauderdale. Okay, so you know me. So you know me. So you know me from a gay bar. All right, let's hear more about that.
It was like entertainment, concerts, and everything. It's a gay bar. Yeah, and maybe that's why you were there for other reasons. You know, the other.
And you knew me, so you and I used to be friends, and we used to hang out at a gay bar together.
No, we were never friends. You were quite a pig, and you were always throwing around your influence.
My influence. Okay, so I got to hear this. I was throwing around my influence. So I was at this gay bar. Around what year was this?
Yeah, you had a little entourage.
No. Around what year was this?
Oh, I can't remember that.
Just around about, like within a couple years.
In Fort Lauderdale since I was a teenager.
Okay, well, you weren't a teenager when you were in this gay bar. So I'm in this gay bar. You're in there. I'm throwing around my influence within like a 4 or 5 year period. When would this have been? Like around what year?
Publix. At Shutdown, you were working at Publix as a little.
I was working as I was an underage child, and you saw me at a gay bar as an underage child in high school.
You were working at Publix, and that's where you.
No, you said that I was throwing my influence around as a big. So I'm in this gay bar. You can't. This is like Eugene Carroll. You won't give any detail. So I'm in this gay bar, and I'm throwing around my influence as a bag boy. How'd that work out?
Excuse me. You're trying to discombobulate everything.
No, I'm trying to find. I want to share with the audience this. So I'm at this gay bar. I'm a teenager, so they let me in underage?
First knew you as when you were a bag boy, but you were still living in the area of Shutdown, and then you were at the Copa years later, and that's when I...
You knew me as a bag boy. And how did you know me as a bag boy? No, I want to hear this. I want to hear this. How did you know me as a bag boy when I was a teenager?
Everything I say.
No, this is all on the air. This is great. This is great. So you knew me as a bag boy. So why would a gay adult man be befriending teenage boys?
You can do anything with me. That's all I can say. You get close to me.
Oh, this is great. So I'm a high school kid. I'm a bag boy. You're at Publix, and I'm coming on to you?
Look how you're trying to displace the time frame.
No, I'm trying to find out when there's... Yeah.
You were first a bad boy when you were younger, but then later in the years, you were still in the area, and so was I, and you were going to the Copa quite frequently. So,
no, I want to hear this. So now we're at this gay bar, and you say I was throwing my influence around. Tell me about that. When I was throwing my influence around the gay bar, what was I doing, and how was I throwing my influence around?
Look, Brian, I don't want to give you any more grief.
You're giving me grief? You think you're giving me grief?
Brian, I'm glad you're canceling Netflix. I have not done that lifestyle in many, many years, and I just...
So no. So when I was throwing my influence around at the gay bar, what was I doing?
Oh, I wasn't watching.
What was I? Well, no, you said you saw me doing this. So I was throwing my influence around. What was I doing? How was I doing it? And what was I trying to get with my influence?
Oh, please. I'm not going to reenact.
Oh, no. Everybody's dying to hear this. Everybody in the audience is dying to hear this.
What they really want to know is, are you still supporting the gay-friendly Obama and the...
No, they don't care about Obama. We're talking about Obama.
You love him.
So tell me about this. So tell me about this time when I'm throwing my influence around the gay bar. I got to hear this story. This is very interesting.
You performing?
I was performing.
You're performing being a conservative now.
No, but I want to know what I was doing when I was throwing my influence around the gay bar.
Well, Netflix or all the...
You know, you have an opportunity. You could have embarrassed me in front of my listeners here, and you want to talk about Netflix and Obama? I think you're full of it. All right, hey, listen, take care. Oh my goodness, that's a good call. I like that call. See? Oh boy, oh boy. Oh my goodness. All right. Oh, it's Gold Report time. Do we have any commercials to play? Maybe we should do a bumper between that and the Gold Report. Do you have a bumper queued? We got to clear the radio airwaves between that caller and the Gold Report. Can you play a bumper real quick, and then we'll go to the Gold Report?
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right.
All right, we've wiped the slate clean. It's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking today?
Continue to look very strong, Brian, with great resilience. Every time they take them down a few dollars, they turn around and go right back up again and make new highs. Overnight, yesterday, we saw gold trade in a range of $3,852 all the way up to $3,896, and closing out the day up $7.10 at $3,864.80 the ounce. Silver gained 68 cents, closing out the day at $47.25 the ounce, while platinum was down $13 at $15.61, and palladium was down $2 at $12.39. Overnight, we saw gold trade in a range of $38.52 to $38.93, and 38.50 area seems to be very strong support for gold as we push to the $3,900 number, which we could actually get through today with no problem. Right now we're at $3,882 per ounce for gold. That's up $17.20. Silver up another 50 cents at $47.75 the ounce. That's up about $1.20 in 2 days now. Platinum up $24 at $1,585 the ounce, and palladium up $1 at $12.40. So gold's very strong around that $38.50 to getting close.
Wow, all right. Now, again, William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. You can stop in. His address is 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway. On the south side of Palmetto, immediately east of US 1. And when you go into the Bank of America building, William Youngerman is directly across the lobby from the bank. You can't miss him. His number's toll-free, 800-327-5010, 800-327-5010. And you can find both his phone number and address on his website, williamyoungerman.com. All right, William Youngerman will finish out the week tomorrow. All right, we are back, and let's go to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. Once, twice. All right, here we go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Brian, it's Ken from Hollywood.
Hey, Ken, what's up?
A couple of quick things. So, it's funny that during the Biden administration's term, never heard the left talk about food prices, ever. Not a word. And I've been listening to you for years. Now, all of a sudden, that's a concern. It's amazing.
Yes. Yeah, right.
Second, I'll just go through these quickly. Greg, too, at the back. I don't know if you picked it up. He was throwing a lot of things at you. When you asked him about opening his house up to provide meals, he goes, well, I would have to provide background checks. He was okay with the border being open with nobody getting a background check, but now all of a sudden he wants to give a background check. It's so funny.
You can't enter his home without a background check.
That's what he said, if you listen to it.
Yes. Yeah, no, I heard him say it.
Yeah, I mean, crazy, right? And the last thing is, this sombrero thing, wasn't it Schumer that held up the avocados in Corona beer? Isn't that racist?
Yeah. You know, my favorite video of Schumer is not AI, although that video Trump released was funny because he was saying the truth about the Democrats. But remember when Schumer was pretending to grill hamburgers with the cheese on the raw meat and all that? That was hilarious.
Yes, it was. That's it. That's all I had.
All right. Well, you have more than most of the callers today. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Matthew?
Yes.
From Indiana.
Hey, Matthew. What's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to get your opinion on the government websites having the little notification saying, due to the radical left Democrat shutdown, this government website will be not updated during the funding lapse. Isn't that a violation of the Hatch Act?
What would the violation be? What is the Hatch Act? Refresh me.
It's basically an act that prohibits the federal government from using federal taxpayer-funded dollars to do political stunts and political theater and make like political type statements.
I don't think that's political. I think it's an accurate thing. I just looked it up. Okay, the Hatch Act. This is just Wikipedia. I don't usually use Wikipedia as a knowledge base, but we're just talking here. This is liberal Wikipedia. The Hatch Act is an act to prevent political activities. It's a United States federal law, prohibits civil service employees in the executive branch of the federal government, except the president and vice president, from engaging in some forms of political activity. Some forms. Well, what you're talking about are actions by the president. So no, it's not a violation.
Like so things like U.S. Department of Agriculture.
That's under the executive branch. That's under the executive branch, which is the president. That's the president.
Listen, it says United States federal law that prohibits civil service employees in the executive branch. So yes,
no, it says except the president and vice president. So that is what you're. Hold on. It's part of the executive branch, and the president has, I'm sure, would authorize that. And if he hasn't, he would. So no, I'm sorry. I mean, you guys, you've arrested him, you shot him. I mean, what, you're going to try this now on him? Aren't you kind of feeling stupid like the Coyote and Roadrunner? You're going to try to get him on this now, something on a website?
Do you think the executive branch shouldn't be beholden to law?
I don't see them doing anything illegal.
They're violating the Hatch Act?
No, they're not. The president is exempt from it, as is the vice president.
Is the Department of Agriculture?
Yes. It is a government agency under the executive branch, under the president's authority. I'm not going to read anything. No, I already read it.
Prohibits in the executive branch.
With exemptions of the president and vice president, and that is the president, and that's the president.
The U.S.
You really think you're going to get it? Why don't you? I got an idea for you. Shooting him didn't do it. Arresting him didn't do it. These phony convictions didn't do it. The Letitia case didn't do it. Why don't you go up to New York City, go to the public library, and see if he has any overdue library books? I mean, come on. This is pathetic, what you're doing.
This isn't even about Trump. This is just about...
It's always about Trump. It's always about Trump. Why do you really hate Trump?
I didn't even bring up Trump.
Sure. Everything about you is about your Trump derangement syndrome. Why did you vote? Why did you vote? Tell me why you voted for Kamala Harris.
I didn't even say the word Kamala Harris.
But you don't have to. You're every syllable out of your mouth is saying it. Why did you vote for Kamala?
Words out of my mouth.
I could tell from the get-go you were a liberal. You voted for Kamala. I've asked you the question 3 times now. You've, I'm sure, been able to think of an answer.
On the Hatch Act, you didn't even know what it was.
No, I knew what it was. I was just confused why this would be a problem. I know what the Hatch Act is. I just was confused why it would be an issue.
Why did you have to Google it?
Well, so that we could try to put it up against this website thing you were talking about. So why'd you vote for Kamala? Why'd you vote for Kamala?
I didn't even say I voted for.
You're saying it right now. You're saying it right now. You're saying it right now.
Saying it because I believe.
When let me ask you, when you were in the closet, did you hide your sexuality better than you hid your political philosophy and allegiances?
In the closet? What do you mean by that?
Before you came out.
I'm not gay.
Okay.
Well, I'm confused as to what that has to do with anything.
Well, as a liberal, what would be wrong with someone being gay? It's not an insult. I'm not insulting you, am I?
I'm not saying you're insulting me.
Oh, okay. I wanted to make sure. Okay. I've what do they say in court? Asked and answered. I mean, you can ask the question over and over again. Come on.
So you don't have anything wrong with
the only thing that's wrong is you, because everything about you in this call is a lie. I mean, come on. Everybody knows you're a liberal. Why are you embarrassed? I understand. Hey, listen, if I were a Democrat, I wouldn't want to admit it either.
I'm not embarrassed. I am a liberal.
Oh, finally. Okay, so I was right.
Sure, but it's just
okay. So no, it's not. So why are you a liberal? It has nothing to do with your sexuality, since you're straight, right?
No, it has nothing to do with.
No.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, so why are you a liberal?
Because I believe a liberal form of government.
Give me a specific thing. What? Give me something that Trump supports that you don't, that makes you a liberal.
Tariffs.
Oh, you're against taxes. That's a conservative position.
Oh, it's a conservative position. Okay. Sure. I mean, I'm liberal on everything, you know.
Okay. So you agree with Trump on taxes. You're against taxes. Okay. So why are you liberal? You were a liberal before tariffs or taxes. They're import taxes. You know that. But you didn't. You were a liberal before the tariffs.
I was a Republican before Trump.
Oh, really? What happened? What turned you? What made you a small government, pro-life, pro-family, and turn you into a liberal lunatic?
I love how I started this conversation asking for your opinion on the government websites, which is I've never done before. The government websites have never done this.
Who cares? You're much more interesting than the government websites.
Oh,
listen. I'm a very merciful person. We're up against the end of the show, and I got a commercial to do. So I'm going to put you out of your misery. All right. So thanks so much. I want to talk about the Sloman's Shield link. The Sloman's Shield link is a really cool, awesome thing. It works, by the way, on all the devices you already have in your home. Okay, so listen to this. The Sloman Shield link takes your everyday routines and actions and connects other devices around your home to react based on how you want them to react. As an example, turning your lights on and off, your thermostat up or down, whenever you want it to, automatically, and much more. The Shield link can act on almost any scenario you can dream up on what you want to happen in your home. And it's amazing. And the cool thing is that it's compatible with the devices already in your home. Sloman's includes installation for all your devices, plus they offer 24/7 support. So if you need to troubleshoot a problem or you want to add something to the Sloman Shield link, no matter what time of day or night, they'll always be there. You can call them. Give them a call, 833-283-5050, 833-283-5050. That's 833-283-5050. All right, well, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. And if you're on hold, you'll be first in line tomorrow. Now, tomorrow is an exciting day because it's Friday already. Can you believe it? That means open phones on Friday. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. And on Friday's show, the show preps up to you guys. You can call in about any and everything on your mind. On Friday's show, that's tomorrow. And the Friday show, because the show preps up to you, it's either the best show of the week or an embarrassing show. It goes either way. But the show preps up to you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow is your day. My name is Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 49 years on the radio. We've had some pretty good calls today, and you can tell with the Democrats that have been calling lately, in particular today, they don't sound well, do they? They don't sound well. You know why? Because we are winning. There's only one thing I'll disagree with President Trump on. I'll never get sick of winning. I will never get sick of winning. All right, that's all the time we have for today. We'll be back tomorrow. It is the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. God bless America. God bless Donald Trump. And, of course, God bless the late, great Charlie Kirk. See you tomorrow at 6 a.m. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe if you are new. Actually, who am I? Hold on a second. Let me check something before I sign off. Don't go. Don't go. On this stream, so far, there have been 62,229 people watching this live stream today. 62,229 have watched already today. All right, guys, take care. See you later.